Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nickies. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the show. We cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be absolutely insane because we are running right now, guys. Actually shocking to me right now because I was in a bad mood earlier. So earlier we got the PCE. PCE is the third data point that Jerome Powell uses to check inflation. CPI is 1, PPI is 2, and then you have the PCE. PCE is basically inflation minus food and oil. So basically everything else is in that PCE data. So what happened is today was PCE came in hot. Inflation came in hot, basically. And it wasn't great because we do know that at 2 o'clock today, we're going to get Jerome Powell is basically going to come out and say, yep, no cut at all. And then 2:30 he's going to come out, and some stock guys I listened to in the morning were basically saying no rate cut this year, right? And then a few minutes later, you had the GDP come out, and the U.S. is looking great. We're up almost 3% from Q1, which is absolutely awesome. So the economy is doing really good. So we got two things happening. We got the economy doing really, really good, which makes crypto go up. It makes stocks go up because we're in a really good place. But we do have inflation that gets growing a little bit. That kind of makes it not possible to cut rates. Crypto needs a rate cutting cycle to be strong, but it also needs a good economy to be strong. And everything's kind of, it's a lot of mixed data right now. But the crypto is looking really good. We got Bitcoin sitting at 118,600, Ethereum sitting at 3,800, XRP is up a little bit today, but we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But it really depends on what Jerome says. You do have pretty much probably market saying 98%. Actually, someone came in with $1 million this morning and dropped it all on no cut, which is why we'll get into that too. But September now is looking like potentially, depending on what he says, may not get a rate cut, but that would be great though. We get good GDP, and then he comes out and basically says that, hey, we're probably going to cut rates in September or something along those lines without actually saying it. Really excited for something like that. We have a lot of amazing news today. Happy birthday, Ethereum. Ethereum turns 15 today. Absolutely insane. And there's a very famous Satoshi line that actually turns about, I think, maybe 15 as well, or maybe 18, honestly, or 16, whatever it is. But we're going to get into that too. Really packed show today. At 12:30 today, we're going to be joined by the guys at Sats Terminal. If you guys are not swapping runes on Sats Terminal to get those Amber points, you're an idiot. Get over there right now. Start swap even a little bit. Just get those Sats Terminal points, guys. We try to bring you guys free money. It's free money almost. So we want you guys to take advantage of that. But let's get this show started, guys. I'm excited for this one. So without further ado, bring our partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Before we get started, let's address the green. Because there's some technical difficulties happening with StreamYard today. StreamYard is the platform, so if you do notice a little bit of green behind me and Yagobi, is because we use green screens. Obviously, this is not our normal backgrounds, so just that. But how are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing fine, man. I feel like there was a little bit of concern, I think, with some of these numbers, but this is our industry. Just as soon as you start to feel down a little bit, the price can really turn on a whim, right? So it's like, what's happening right now? Is this just a pump up before Jerome speaks? We're gonna find out. But the one thing that I was telling you about was that there's strength in Bitcoin and Ethereum, probably more. Well, there is more in Ethereum right now, but Bitcoin's still looking pretty decent, right? Remember, yesterday, it seemed like we might be heading back to 115 or 116 with the aggressive kind of pullback. So I think we're in a good spot. It is early though, 10 o'clock. The bell rang about an hour ago. So I think really what people are waiting for is the tone that Powell brings. It's gonna be an interesting meeting though. This is the first meeting since the awkward construction meeting between Trump and Powell. So it's gonna be interesting.
100%. Do you think he comes out at all? Like Trump tweeted, we're gonna get into it in a little bit, but he came out and tweeted again today. He was like, "We need to cut rates. GDP is high." So I don't know what. I'll get your comments on that in a second. Let's jump into the main topic of today, Kraken. So Kraken is looking to raise 500 million at a $15 billion valuation. I went and researched this because I wanted to see where the other crypto companies were. Coinbase has a market capitalization of approximately 95 billion. Robinhood is about 94 billion. Circle Internet Group is at 43 to 45, depending on the close and the open today. MicroStrategy is 114 billion. Looking at that, I realized Kraken coming out at 15 billion is an absolute steal, and it could double, just like Circle did after the IPO.
Well, I think the valuation was intentionally placed at this level because they know that although they are a staple name in our industry, we've known them as always being here, but they haven't really had their chance to shine because they've had cuffs on them in terms of not being able to really let loose with marketing or doing partnership deals because they were trying to fight through the courts. Unfortunately, they were an example of the last previous administration and how they abused their authority and power. But now that's gone. So I think this is bullish that they did this because it really is kind of like, hey, look, guys. First of all, we're one of the larger centralized exchanges in the U.S. U.S. is supposed to be the leading crypto nation, so we are going to evaluate ourselves in the billions, but it's not going to be, what some of these other companies are, and that gives us a chance to prove to you guys what we're going to do this cycle.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think a fair valuation for Kraken is? If you have Coinbase at 95, Robinhood at 94, I think fair valuation at minimum would be 45 billion, right?
I don't know. Probably not right now. I think this is probably closer to fair because, like I mentioned, they haven't had a chance to really let loose in terms of marketing and growth.
Oh,
and so
1/4 or 1/4?
Yeah, because
Coinbase?
you have to get yeah. I mean, Coinbase has proven not just in the retail sector, but like the TradFi sector to where they've been able to obtain all that confidence and investment, right? So
Yeah,
I think that, Coinbase is not probably the right entity to compare them to, even though they are in the same, category. I think it's more of, something that's, maybe like an OKX or something that on the east side, somebody that's, that's big, but hasn't blown out yet and have their moment. OKX, I feel like, is kind of overshadowed by Binance, right? And Bybit kind of does a lot of volume as well. But Kraken, I think they have such an opportunity. OKX has an opportunity too, the cycle in the East, but Kraken has such an opportunity to be that hip, that fun, that I guess, bounce back centralized exchange of the cycle?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a very low valuation. I think 30 to 45 billion is where I mean, they're competing with Coinbase on all levels, right? A lot of the the FTX users, they want the Kraken. A lot of the FTX investors, they want the Kraken when FTX kind of exploded there. And I don't know. I think Kraken, they have the ink, they have the crack, they have so much in my opinion, so much room to grow that I think putting them at 15 billion is kind of like not speculating at all. I think it's fair, but there's no speculation there.
Well, I mean, I think that's how they want it too. You know, like maybe they could have gone up another 10 billion, but I think that would probably be max, and maybe that's what would satisfy that speculation gap that you're talking
Yeah.
about. But remember, Crack is listed or is out on iOS, but it's not. They haven't been able to dominate yet with these things, right? So, like you said, you want that gap of speculation. Sure, they could have done that, but I think what would happen is first giving them maybe like a target underneath what maybe some people would have thought that they would be at would bring more interest to say, hey, look, this is a good cheap price versus look what Pump did. You know, Pump, I know completely different, not completely, but different from the majority markets that they're, trying to attract.
Yeah.
But like Pump evaluated themselves at what, like, was it 4 billion?
4 billion, yeah.
4 billion, and it like they over evaluated themselves, and they probably did that on purpose strategically, but it really smashed the token down. And so I think like Kraken, now this is TradFi, so this is different.
Yeah.
We're talking about shares here, but valuating yourself, but knowing that you have the product and the quality in terms of leadership and clear plan to succeed and dominate, I think is going to speak volumes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm curious to see what happens. What do you think their ticker is going to be? I couldn't find they didn't pick one. But Crack would be a great ticker.
It would.
For the stock exchange.
It would be
a lot of memes. A lot of memes. But let's move along here. Ethereum open interest dominance nears 40%. Its highest since April 2023, signaling a shift in speculative focus from BTC to ETH. And I want to look this up a little bit. So I asked ChatGPT. Crypto derivatives market is showing increased trader attention and speculation toward Ethereum over Bitcoin. So basically, that's what this open interest chart is right here. And let me share my screen. This is it right here. So you can see Bitcoin was the dominant one for the long time, and then you have Ethereum right now kind of growing here. So they are coming in, meeting each other here. Do you think potentially Ethereum can actually get up here to potentially 50%?
I do, and a lot of pundits and people that are kind of a little bit in the TradFi experience, but also now like they're covering more of these institutions that are getting their hands dirty in crypto, are saying this is the rotation, right? So if that's the case, then Bitcoin, they will continually get closer in terms of trying to meet. Now 50%, I think that's possible. Will they go higher than that? I don't know if Ethereum could go higher than that. I mean, that's a lot at that point. We'll see though. If they keep going towards each other, that's a good thing for Ethereum. And I'm not so sure how correct Benjamin Cohen is in terms of ETH being kind of like this new Bitcoin sucking liquidity away from all alts forever. I don't think that's the case. I think it maybe in the very beginning, but I think it does trickle down because TradFi is greedy too, and institutions are greedy too. Humans are greedy.
Yeah.
They might be more conservative than us, but they want to make more money, whether that's on Solana's or other blue chips and stuff like that. But yeah, so I could see this getting to 50%.
Well, let me ask you this then. So I've been saying it for a while now. Ethereum is the new Bitcoin in a sense of indication, like indicators for the rest of the alt cycle. If Ethereum is that top dog and that top indicator, what is the new Ethereum? Would you say that is Solana? Would you say it's something newer, maybe something like
BNB looks strong?
BNB, yeah, that's another one.
BNB looks strong.
That's true. BNB is really strong,
and they're hitting new all-time highs pretty much every week. So
yeah. Yeah, man, 100% agree. All right, let's kind of get into the macro stuff. So FOMC decision at 2 p.m. and meeting coming up at 2:30, and the White House will release its first crypto policy report. The White House came out first, and they said, "Hey, we're not including the Bitcoin strategic reserve in this at all, so don't get your hopes up." And then a $1.3 million bet has been placed on Polymarket this morning that the Fed will keep interest rates unchanged. What do you think about these two right here? What do you think about the Fed meeting today? Obviously, with the $1.3 million bet, it's pretty much probably from an insider, right? Because you're not going to bet $1.3 million and not know the result, right? I mean, especially that morning.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back in November, some Frenchman was betting like millions of dollars on the election when it was getting kind of like late. So I think there's just some big gamblers that feel really, really confident. But yeah, I mean, that would be the biggest upset on poly market if we were to see a flip here. I obviously, I'm all about data and statistics and stuff, so I'm counting it out. But I just feel like that meeting, the construction meeting, something weird, or what I mean, like something weird about that. There was probably like a lot of deep discussions in there, and I don't know. We're gonna see if there was any type of effect at all with that meeting on PAL.
Yeah. I think the only thing that can get Jerome to cut rates is if he's on the list. You know what I mean? So I've got to him and said, "Hey, we saw your name on the list." That's the only thing that can get Jerome to cut rates, right?
But if that's true, though, always be speculative, right? Like it'll never come out.
It's never coming out regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, all right. So you want to comment on this too, real quick? White House basically saying no strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah, I mean, that's responsible of them just to kind of get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And so, man, our space loves to speculate. I mean, that's what it is, right? From tokens to news to anything that's happening. I mean, yeah. So I think it was responsible for them to come out and just give a heads up, though. Hey, look, don't expect this on here.
Yeah, 100%. That was Bo Hines, who's been somebody who's been very, upfront about a lot of the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes there. And then this came out. Obviously, I talked about it a little bit in the intro there, but the U.S. Preliminary core PCE rose to 2.5, slightly higher than the 2.3 expected previously, but it previously was 3.5, so it has dropped. I didn't mention that part of it. Meanwhile, GDP grew by 3%, beating the 2.4 forecast. Huge beat on that and improving from a 0.5 last. So last cycle we were negative, and 2 negative GDP reports in a row is basically saying we're in a recession. So now we are no longer in a recession. If anything, we have huge growth. I mean, we're talking about 3.5% from last quarter.
Yeah. I feel like those stock guys were just kind of in their emotions whenever they saw this, right? I mean, if you look at it, it's actually not too bad. And again, it's like the out of the three, it's the least spoken about, at least from my perspective. And I'll be fair and say that, like, I don't dig into this part, right? Like the PCE side of things.
Yeah.
Even though I think it is kind of an important, data point, because it basically goes across everything besides, you said, gas and groceries. The thing about that is, the thing about that though is gas and groceries are like the most necessity type thing.
They're
and
needs,
so
they're not wants, right?
Exactly. So this is more of a wants category, but still, like, America loves to spend. That's our culture. Like, we invented this like debt type of culture in the 80s and 90s with credit cards, buy now, pay later. But hopefully that starts to change a little bit. Anyways, I do think they overreacted a little bit. And but looking back from the previous month, we're better. Or was it previous year? Sorry. Year over year.
Previous month. This is month over month.
Yeah. So, just the expected we didn't hit, so I think we're fine.
Well, no, this is quarter, I think.
Okay,
PCE
so that
is month over month. I'm sorry, the GDP is quarter. So
what about that 3.5% that was previous? It says that was last year this time.
Yes, that was year over year. Yes.
Okay.
So you get both. You get the monthly, and then you get the year over year. But
yeah. So I mean, I think we're just fine. And so we'll see how the meeting goes today. They're probably going to ask this question, and we'll see how he responds to it. But yeah, September is going to be the big month that people are going to be waiting on the results of that, because I think we probably all moved on from July. But again, that is baked in, right? Because like it's been 96% this entire month, right? And so with that being said, like I think Bitcoin's price is baked in. I think Ethereum's price is baked in. I don't think they're going to get gut punched by this no decision in July. I think, and then we have August to kind of buffer in between, right? So I think this is not as bad as, you know, some people might think. And also the price right now, don't pay too much attention to that, I would say, for this morning, because this is a game right now. They went down, they went back up. Jerome Powell's going to speak. They market makers take advantage of every Fed meeting that they make a decision on and stuff. So
yeah, 100%. And now, you know, we are moving so it's September now. Obviously, July, we talked about it, 98% thanks to that $1 million buy this morning. And then, but now, dude, remember I showed you just a little bit ago? It's grown since. So we're at 60% of a cut next meeting, which is September 15th to September 17th. But yeah, so we're actually baking this in right now. I think that's why we're running with price. So that's definitely good to see.
Yep.
And then we had the non-farm payroll come in this morning. We get it every Thursday or every Wednesday, every Thursday, depending on what it is. But today it came in 104 estimate, and then it came in at 100. Actual was 104,000 new jobs. Estimate was 77,000. Prior was negative 33. So this is really good. But this is like, remember, this was like last month or whatever. It was, well, no, yeah, it was opposite. But then the next day, the public jobs or the public sector went nuts in jobs, right? And now you're actually seeing this the opposite now. So maybe the public sector will come in a little negative from that. So yeah, that kind of, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow when we get that jobs data from the public sector. So all right, but the president actually reacted to 3% GDP. He didn't react to the PCE, but he reacted to the GDP. He said, too late, must now lower the rate. No inflation. Let people buy and refinance their homes. Do you think? And then BlackRock came out and said, Fed will not cut rates today.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love the last part of his statement, though. Let people, you know, refinance their homes, buy and refinance their homes. So there's so many people that have good credit that are locked in bad rates right now. You know what I mean? And so that's an opportunity for new business, you know, in terms of, I guess not necessarily new business, you know, they look at it as possibly a loss, but like what will happen is you open the door to new business, right? So like people that have good credit, that are very conscious about their finances and not going to buy a house at 6%, but was ready like 2 years ago, just wasn't going to pull the trigger. And I think there's probably a decent amount of people there. There was some that were just like, well, I'm ready now, I'm just going to do it. So those people will refinance, but the people that were, you know, have good credit that just said, I'm just not going to buy a house in this market, that's new business that they can open up to too, right? So I mean, there's an opportunity, I think, for the banking institutions and stuff like that if he does cut rates here, but we'll see how stubborn he's going to be with this, because look, a lot of people are in situations they wish that they had better rates.
Yeah. I was talking to my sister about this, and she does real estate here in PA, and she said that housing prices are dropping though, because people don't want to get that 6%. So like if they did cut rates, she said that housing prices would actually go up. So it does help the refinancers, but it doesn't help the people buying new homes, because then you get into these kind of auction type of buying up things where, you know, you put in an offer, someone else comes in higher because they're able to get a cheaper rate. And she said right now, like homes are actually dropping the lowest since 2020. But because she said it is because the rates are so high. And she said if the rates do drop, the home prices go up. So yes, it's good for refinancers, but it's not as good for new buyers.
Well, I would say your sister knows more than me about this because she's in the real estate industry. But I will say this, though, just logically, I would say I have heard Austin has been hit big time with this, right? Like, you know, California came over to Austin because they felt like it was the closest thing to Southern California, and housing prices shot up a ton. And now, like the past year and a half, they wanted to move back and just do all these things. So everything is over inventoried right now. So
Yeah.
there's like in Dallas too, it's starting to get over inventoried here. And so if that surplus of inventory is big, and it's not going to be like that across the country, it's going to be like that in certain spots first. I think like if you are a new buyer, you got to take advantage early. You know what I mean? If they cut the rates, because there will be that going back to that bidding war to where like the law says that the agent can't tell you what the last thing is. You just put your best and final and all that stuff. So if new buyers want to skip that, then as soon as the rates do get cut and it's something reasonable that you're willing to, you got to go for it right away, I think, because there is a surplus in inventory right now, but that surplus will get dwindled away as the interest rates go down.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really the educated are the ones that made out. Like in 2020, when they first cut rates to 0, a lot of people immediately ran over to the refinancing offices and was like, I need to do it now, because they knew that the housing prices want to shoot up. So it's funny because the educated always win. Educating yourself always beats out, because like even us, like we waited too long. We could have got a way better rate, but we waited too long to refinance our home in 2020. We didn't do it until the September. We should have did it in like March. We would have got a way better rate. I mean I'm talking a couple, like 1%, but still over time that's a lot. But yeah. Let's move along here. So SEC approves in-kind creations and redemptions for Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So I went and dug into this a little bit. So the in-kind creation, institutions give the ETF issuer actual Bitcoin or Ethereum in exchange for ETF shares. And then you have the in-kind redemptions. Institutions can return ETF shares and get back Bitcoin or Ethereum, not cash. So this is absolutely huge now, because these ETFs now are actually real Bitcoin. They're real Ethereum. They're backed by, obviously we're told they're backed by real Ethereum, real Bitcoin. But now I'm able to say, hey, I have this many shares. I want to pull out 1 Bitcoin, and they got to say, okay, what's your Bitcoin address? And they actually have to send me my Bitcoin, or they have to send me my Ethereum. I absolutely love this, dude. Love it, because now it's actually real Bitcoin that these guys are holding.
Yeah, this is also, to build trust, I think, for TradFi participants. If they do, because what's going to happen is going to be a small percentage of them that want to learn more and go down the hole, and they'll be like, oh, I just want to self-custody my stuff at that point. You know what I mean? And then that's whenever they'll use these redemptions, that they have to be able to, say, give them an option or something, right? And so I think the SEC loves this, because this is like something that they can kind of be like, okay, this is the kind of activity we want to see, back your ETF with actual digital assets.
Well, this will also allow Coinbase to give you a loan on your ETF.
True.
Technically, right? Because if they do it on the Bitcoin and they're able to get that Bitcoin out as they need, obviously this probably isn't something for like the older generation, but like if you go to Coinbase, they say, hey, just give us your your account information, and we can just make sure it's there, and then we can redeem it for you, and then you take a loan out on it. You can take a loan out on your Bitcoin and loan out on your Ethereum. Now this actually opens up a lot of new customers for Coinbase or Kraken or whoever, really, right? Because now you're actually able to redeem that Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's not trapped or locked anymore. So this is actually huge.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, I hate to use the term IOU type of situation, but they do this stuff in TradFi anyway. So this is going to be a different part of, this is like merging TradFi with digital assets more than anything I've seen. Like whenever you get in-kind redemptions, I mean, what else is there? I'm sure that gold has something similar.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll look into that. I don't know. I'm sure. I wonder if I can redeem gold for the ETF.
Maybe.
Because I can't imagine them sending me actual gold.
That would be weird, right? I don't think anybody uses it though.
I got a gold bar coming.
Why is that big truck backing up?
That's not sus at all, man. I'll get robbed real quick. But yeah, let's move along here. So strategy. Remember over the weekend they didn't do anything, right? We're like, what's going on? But it's now Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Strategy has completed a $2.5 billion IPO of its STRC preferred stock using proceeds.
Wait, is this a new one? Or is this... So they have two.
They have 4 now, bro. They have 4 tickers. So Strategy has completed its IPO of STRC preferred stock using the proceeds to buy 21,000 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's strategy now holds 628,000 Bitcoin worth $74 billion. So now they have four tickers now. They own the stock market that are all MicroStrategy at the end. But two of them now are basically, by owning these, you just get yield. It's like 9 to 10% yield, and potentially they might open up a couple more.
Gosh, man, that's crazy. Like, well,
Talk about
I think
over leveraging yourself, right? Go ahead.
yeah, well, I heard Udi talk the other day on his account and saying that like Bitcoin is in this like you got for the big players that are doing a strategy towards it, they have to keep buying it. They have to keep buying it because once they stop, then it gets stagnant and like their plan starts to kind of the holes get very apparent and stuff like that. So I guess this is an example of that. I think it's ridiculous if he had like technically does have 4 tickers. I mean, like that's crazy to me. But does it legitimize Bitcoin and crypto more? Because now like Saylor's acting like one of those Ponzi projects that like literally starts off with one coin. It does very well. They either have an AMM or something like that. Then guess what? They have this staking token that comes out next. And that staking token makes the original token price go up because now you stake that original token, you get that new token. But wait, there's more. Another token rolls out because you can now stake that third token to earn the second token. And it makes that price go up. Or sorry, you stake the second token to earn the third token. And I mean, he sounds like someone that's been building DeFi projects in 2021.
What's the term? House of Cards? Is that kind of what he's?
I don't want to say that we're there. We're not there, but
he's building the first layer though, right? Now he's stacking the second layer of the cards. I don't know. I obviously don't want Saylor to fail, but I also don't want him to over leverage himself to put himself in a situation where we got to worry about it. Right. So I just think that you're right though. Udi's right though. If they stopped buying, their stock would drop. He needs to keep figuring out ways to continue the big. I think he bought too much too early over the leverage. I mean, the prices were better, so I don't know if that's true. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the difference is too is that okay, so like we know that like our previous financial system was a Ponzi as well, but like they were so good, like the big players were so good at establishing these rules to these games that like you literally it was so sophisticated that you couldn't release certain things be like, that doesn't really make, but then they're like, oh, but this, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Now I'm okay. But then like with this is the new flipping of the financial system. So I think like the BlackRocks and these, people that are going to be involved here, they need to probably come up with some sort of fail-safe for Saylor himself, because it's going to affect everybody, right? And it's a global thing too. So it's not just the United States, which is I think that's a good thing for the most part, because like no one wants Bitcoin to fail. If Bitcoin were to fail, then that's game over for crypto, right? So Bitcoin won't fail. Number one, but it could slide back and get gut punched in the stomach for price. But we could be talking about that happening at 700K and then like it pulling all the way back to like 230, which I would take 230 today, and like I would love that price.
Yeah, 100%. And you got to remember too, BlackRock's a huge investor in strategy. Vanguard, a huge investor in strategy. They're not going to let strategy fail. If strategy gets caught up in something, I think they will come in and kind of put a nice blanket over it, a nice safety blanket. So if he does fall, he's falling onto a nice cushion, and then maybe build it back up. But I just think his investors are just too big to fail as well. So that they got to definitely take that into fruition as well with that, because they're not going to let him fail.
Yeah, at least not at this point in time. I think they're going to give at least 3 more years of
unless
winning.
They want that Bitcoin, and they're like, we can get that Bitcoin half off.
Yeah. OTC. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Ethereum launched July 30th, 2015. Today marks its 10th birthday, a full decade of powering smart contracts, DeFi, NFTs, and the future. So real quick, though, I have to say something. So today marks the 15th birthday or the 10th birthday of Ethereum Classic. It's because you got to remember, they did do a fork, technically, right? So the new
same,
Ethereum.
Yeah. But the same guys.
A fork.
are
It
still
was a
working
fork,
on
yeah,
it. Yeah.
but still, it's been 10 years now since we've gotten our first smart contracts. Ethereum was the first smart contract platform. EVM was the first, programming language, and Solidity as well. Well, Solidity is the programming language. EVM was the first technology to back that. Absolutely huge, though. Ethereum has now grown to the size of Bitcoin in the sense of how people think about it now. You can go to somebody now and say, "Do you know Ethereum?" And I bet 6 out of 10 people you ask will say, yeah. 10 out of 10 will say, I know what Bitcoin is.
Yeah, for sure. But like as you mentioned, that's getting more and more like the radius is growing, right? As time goes
Yeah.
on, more and more people will know, and the younger generations and stuff more specifically. But yeah, and just to be kind of give some hope to the Bitcoin ecosystem people, the people like Ness and stuff like that. It's just like I remember for a period she was constantly on X saying, Arch is make it or break it, or this is happening, this is it for runes, or you got look in 2015, in 2016, 2017, leading up till finally whenever like you had Uniswap and stuff like that, like they were going through very similar pain points and stuff, and they had like the way they trade was through like order books. It wasn't like how it's trading now. So that should give you guys some I guess like hope. I'm not trying to give you guys hopium, but I truly believe there's going to be solutions. It's not going to be the exact same as Ethereum, but there's going to be solutions to where the trading experience is very similar to what we see over there. So
yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. So we do have another birthday today. 15 years ago today, Satoshi said, if you don't believe me or don't get it, I do not have time to try to convince you. Sorry, after somebody questioned Bitcoin in the forum that they were in. This is one of the most famous quotes of Satoshi Nakamoto ever. All right, and then it turns 15 years old today. I love this quote because it's so easy for people just to be like, well, it's a Ponzi, or it's this, it's magic internet money, it's this, it's that. And it's like, if you don't get it, I don't have time to convince you. Like, then I'm just going to walk away from this conversation. I love that Satoshi kind of started that, and those people hate themselves who faded it.
Yeah, it's so good that it's been used on every level, from like the most solid asset of Bitcoin to the most Ponziest asset, to where you got the guys trying to shield that and saying, if you don't believe me about this Ponzi-nomics, house of cards, don't get it out of time to commit. I've heard this so many times, like on crypto Twitter or Telegram chats.
Yeah, it's Satoshi Nakamoto himself 15 years ago. Absolutely awesome. All right. Let's kind of get into the crypto fear and greed here. So way lower than, I guess this morning I was feeling this, but yeah, last week was 60. I'm sorry, last week was 70. Yesterday was 63. We're not far at all from yesterday's 63. Where are we at?
61.
63.
Oh,
I didn't want to give you the layup.
I like it. I like trying to make it a little bit, don't give me the free shot every time.
Yeah, so we're at 63 today. How do you feel about this? Obviously, with the prices kind of going up right now, Bitcoin over 18, 118, Ethereum just under 38. Do you feel like we're going to be headed back up towards that 70 this rest of this week?
Not necessarily the rest of this week, but I do think next Monday is going to be big, starting next Monday, but getting data till like mid next week to finish the first week of August is going to be big to me, because it's going to let me know if that monthly chart on Ethereum is as primed as I feel like it looks to see a leg up, an explosion. Because as much as it looks great, and I'm going to go over it here in a little bit, that doesn't mean that it happens right then and there. There could be a 2 to 4 week period of just, okay, not yet, and then in September explode. But September is typically not a great month either. So maybe we get that explosion in August and maybe chill in September and then carry back on in October. The one thing that I will say is that I think bears are really just, they feel kind of like they're waiting for ETH to explode back down to 3,100, and I don't think we get that. I think what happens is they get continually squeezed, and they're getting tricked a bit. Every time it tags 3,800 and it goes back down, I think they're like, okay, it's go time. It's about to go to 35. It's about to go to 34. But the news has not been able to penetrate Bitcoin and Ethereum like it did the first 4 months of this year. It's just different. We're in a different. We've calloused the headlines, basically, or become calloused to the headlines, right? The tariffs, everybody was negative on Trump. If you notice too, a lot of the left-leaning media outlets, they've kind of backed off a bit because they realize that it's a it's a fruitless game at this point. They tried the first 4 months just to beat them up, but all the negative, all this stuff, but like all the tariff stuff that they said it would do, we're not seeing that. All the stuff that like doom and gloom, everybody's going to lose all their money, everybody's going to lose all their jobs, we're not seeing that. So I think what we're going through right now is this, we become callous to these negative headlines. Yes, Bitcoin might bump down $2,000, but that is more of a direct effect of selling down some Bitcoin or something like that. But it bounces right back, dude. 80,000 Bitcoin was sold recently, and we're back to 118, dude. I mean, to me, that's a positive.
Well, let me ask you this, right? So yeah, we saw that 80,000 Bitcoin, and then we had the treasury companies basically bought it up, right? Those treasury companies probably bought up that. Does that stop? Does the treasury companies kind of okay?
No, treasury companies don't stop, and they actually jack it up for the Ethereum, and then once ETFs get approved, they're going to start going into these other like Sol treasury companies and BNB treasury companies, and we're going to see how degen TradFi gets, because this is their version of degenning, guys. Like they don't come over into our chat groups and stuff. They might have some spies or something just to try to get research purposes, but like they're not over here talking to us. They're doing their own way of doing it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Head over to Artura.finance today, guys. Bridge in. We just did a video with the co-founder of Botonics. That video will probably be out tomorrow. Definitely watch that video. You really learn a lot about what Botonics is bringing to the table. Decentralization using multi-sigs. It's actually really cool. She explains it really good job. Alicia Painter is awesome. So definitely check out that video dropping tomorrow, possibly, hopefully. And then, so Botonics is the chain, and Artura has built a perp dex on top of it. So Botonics, we're actually learning that you'll be able to get Bitcoin for using the chain. You're basically going to earn Bitcoin for using the chain. Let me say that one more time, because if you guys haven't bridged over there yet, it's not a really smart idea to not do it, because it's going to be free money. Even $100, send $100 over there. Use Artura. You're going to be earning the ARA token potentially, but right now you're earning points. And then eventually down the line, you're going to be getting that Bitcoin from Botonics. It's actually a really, really good idea. Head over to Artura.finance. Get on that leaderboard. Get on it today.
Yeah, exactly, man. That was a really fun interview, and you guys will very much enjoy it, because the way their approaches to their Bitcoin layer 2 is very interesting. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, as always, I'm going to ask you guys to help us out, and you guys do, because you guys are awesome. On the YouTube side, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, share the space, guys. We appreciate your support. Share the space. Let's get as many people, and smash that like as well. And Abstract as well, guys. We appreciate our Abstract crew definitely growing over there as well. And then Kick, I know I never shout out to Kick and Twitch and Spotify, all those channels. We got like a lot of channels. Rumble, shout out to our Rumble gang as well. But yeah, I just want to give you all a shout out today. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin's price action. Gonna start with the hour chart here. Our chart looks decent, but don't get tricked out. Remember, I mentioned earlier that this is going to be a little flip-floppy type of price action, because people are waiting on what Jerome Powell's tone's going to be like. But we do have this kind of support level here at 117,400 kind of mark right here. And if you go back to, what is this, yesterday 1 a.m., so let's kind of squeeze in here. Let's kind of bring it back to this morning or late last night. That's right here. Okay, cool. So this is still going to be that area, but you can see here, down here there isn't a ton of volume at all right at that 117,400. But where we are hanging out right now at the 118,100, we are seeing support really start to build up here. It's pretty lopsided right here. Not too much volume right here, but it definitely supports stronger. As right here where the volume is the most, support is pretty gaining some strength there in this area. So that's a good sign. This is a really good sign, because if you do the average, this is actually gives us the most volume in this area. So if we can, you know, maintain this here and then maybe bump up here, which support pretty much is dominating in this area too, all the way going up to 118,400. Okay, so if we can kind of, you know, range in this area, and hopefully we get some dovish tones from Jerome. Honestly, I feel like the guy's like at this point probably so stressed out and all these things that like I don't even know what he is thinking. You know, going into this meeting, he's probably like, I'm tired of this. I just want a vacation. All right, let's take a look at the MACD here. It looks like we tried to go into sell pressure, bounced out of it. We did cross back up though over the slow line. The blue line crossed over the slow line. Typically that's a strong move, and that was, you can see right here, bam, we went all the way from 117,700 to 118,700. So $1,000 swing up. Now it looks like it's starting to bleed down a bit. Let's see if this continues though. Like I mentioned though, this area where the most volume is, we have the advantage on the buy side, right? And then below that, there's some support too. It's not as lopsided down here, but we still have the edge, and so we'll see if we can maintain that. Below that, we lose a bit of edge, and you know, we could free fall here because there's not too much volume, but you know, we get caught right here with some support at 117,850. So like I mentioned, don't read too deep into this, especially on the hour chart for today. People are just trying to you know, take it up down before the Fed speaks. So that's how the hour chart looks. So that's, you know, I'm thinking just we really need to hear what the Fed is, his tones and stuff like that, to kind of give us a feeling of the second half of today. The 4-hour chart confused as well. You can see here, you know, we went into sell pressure for a little bit, but it really tried to, you know, exhaust multiple times here. And you can see that the fast line on the MACD looks like it wants to curl up. It hasn't crossed the orange yet. Once that crosses the orange on the 4-hour, we should look like to be pulling back up here. You know, last time we were close to 120 was this past Sunday. So, you know, we'll see how we end the week. But, you know, 4-hour looks okay. The setup isn't horrible. It did do a weird kind of curve up and then curve down. We'll need this to kind of curve back up and cross over that orange. So if we do get that, let's say we get a dovish tone from the Fed, and maybe he's signaling that September's probably when the rate cut happens. I don't know what he's going to say, but you know, if that happens, we could start to get some bullish energy here and give us a good strong finish to the week. But end of month, I don't love end of month time period, so I'm not necessarily counting on that. All right, let's take a look at the daily. Daily still looks pretty red here. You can see here, but again, if this is the daily and the MACD showing decent amount of sell pressure, you know, it's dark red. Like the lines are getting a little bit bigger than the other ones. You can see that, you know, the stochastics looks like it's pointing back down. But if this is like a strong sell pressure session, I'll take it at 118. I will take that all day, any day. At 118, ranging between 117 to 120, give me that kind of sell pressure if that's what the indicators are telling me, because I know once it pops out, we're going to see an aggressive pull up then. So that's how I'm viewing the daily, guys. Take one quick peek see into the weekly chart here. All right, weekly looks pretty good in terms of the setup. Yes, the stochastics looks like it wants to dip down here. We'll see if we get that. You know, Sunday is going to give us obviously all that data that we need to see how we finish this candle. Right now, we're sitting on a red candle, but that's okay. Like I mentioned, you know, if this is like a sell pressure session for Bitcoin, I'll take it all day, any day, ranging between 117 to 120. To me, that's good. if that's a sell pressure moment here. On the weekly, it's not showing that we're in sell pressure, but you know, it's showing a little exhaustion here, but I think we're fine. Again, I always look at this candle here, and it doesn't mean it's going to look exactly like this. This was late 2023 leading into early 2024. It looks very similar here. The only thing is there's a little breakup, a little bit more breakup. There was less breakup here, but there was a pause though. That's still a pause. So this could be our pause here a little bit, right? And then we continue to march forward there. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum, because this is the one that excites me the most. So I'm looking at the monthly chart on Ethereum here. I talk about this all the time. 3 stabs at $4,000 mark in 2023. We only got our first one here, extremely oversold in the first 4.5 months of 2025. And I expect an overbought situation ending in Q4 of this year, meaning that, you know, we have in my opinion, new all-time high of Ethereum. Now, what gets me excited is you can see that the stochastics, man, like, and when you zoom out, right, and you look at this higher time frame, something that like these momentum indicators or these leading indicators, they mean more to me whenever I'm looking at a zoomed out, and that's typically, I think, most traders, people that look at charts would agree upon. So whenever you see that, like, we've been in oversold territory for a good minute, you're going all the way back to where it's first entered in October of 2024. And now we're just now exiting the oversold territory, meaning that this thing wants to take flight. It wants to take flight, right? And this is a monthly chart. So every candle is a month, guys. All right. Now the MACD is about to cross the orange. The fast line's about to cross the slow line, so get ready, boys and girls, in my opinion. Now, does that mean it's going to happen tomorrow? No, that doesn't mean that. Does it mean it's going to happen next week? Maybe not. I think it's going to happen within the next month and a half to where it gets aggressively to the upside, because we've exhausted this. The only thing that really could bring this back up and open it down to me would be a black swan type of situation. We are primed here, boys and girls, for Ethereum, in my opinion, on the monthly chart to have a great Q4. I'll leave it at that. Probably a great second half of Q3 at least.
Yeah, I was about to say, come on, man. Give us some Q3.
I know. Sometimes I'm too conservative.
So long.
Yeah,
Q4 feels so far away.
So I'll say this. I think we have a good majority of Q3 bullish leading into Q4. But this monthly chart, I feel like you can't really ask for anything. Look, we're still considered to be in the sell pressure momentum on the MACD. And we're here, guys.
Yeah.
And we're coming out of that. But we haven't even started. We haven't started
bullish.
Well, we haven't even started any of this yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over here. So look what happened whenever this started. Coming out of oversold. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right. So I'm not saying we get exactly the scenario. What I am saying is, give me half of this scenario, and you got us up here, 5,300, something like that.
Yeah.
5,500, right? So that's what I'm saying, is that, like, the monthly chart to me, and I love the daily chart on Ethereum. When you zoom out, it just looks good for Ethereum, and I'll leave it at that. Oh, one last thing. I'll just hit on a couple of these because we got Hex right here. This is Crypto Bubbles, guys, for you guys. So on the daily, it's not all bad. It is about 85% pullback, though. Hex, though, Richard Hart, man, I think he tweeted yesterday.
Well, he tweets every day. But we're waiting for the live stream. That's the big one. That's the big one.
But I think he tweeted something that was like, he was kind of talking crap to people, like, oh wow, look at Pulse Chain's holdings or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it said. But Hex is up 17%. You see Pulse X, Pulse X was not in the top 100, guys. Even yesterday, it was in top 200. Is entered the top 100. Hex 17% up. Pulse X 14.1%. What else do we got here? Form, not sure what Form is, but it's up 14.1%. Curve Finance up 4.1%. Bitcoin Cash up 1.3%. Take that, Satoshi's Vision. XDC up 4.7%. You got XRP up barely 0.9%, but that's a good sign. XRP up is good. ETH is up 0.7%. Guys, I'm telling you, man. Ton up 1.7%. Go ahead.
Real quick, do you know what Richard Hart tweeted yesterday?
Was it something along the lines as I was right, or no?
It was a 4-letter word. He tweeted cool.
Oh, that was it.
That's it.
I could have sworn, but I saw something that he tweeted with like a chart or like a graphic or something. Maybe it was an older one.
It was a graphic. It was like up, like Pulse X ripping, Ink ripping, Hex ripping, and then he just put the word cool.
Passive aggressive way of talking crap. Yeah. Got it. All right, some notables that pulled back though. Tau pulled back 5%. You got Bonk pulled back 9.1%. Pengu pulled back 3%. Uniswap pulled back 1.5%. Stacks, good old Stacks is down 2.2%. Ondo pulled back 1.1%. Caspa pulled back 3.3%. Mutable X pulled back 3.5%. Tron pulled back 3.1%. Jupiter pulled back 2.6%. AVAX with a pullback of 5%. Pancake Swap pulled back 1.5%. You got Near Protocol pulling back 3.2%. SPX pulled back a whopping 10.6%. That's a big pullback. Virtuals pulled back 4.7%. And Dog with Hat pulled back 3.9%. And I gotta say this, Pump pulled back 2.1%. All right, guys, let's take a look. I'm actually starting to get kind of, I hate that I feel this way, but I feel like I'm getting close to taking a long position with Pump, but not yet. I don't feel like it's not yet. Not yet. All right. And it's not because I like it at all. It's just a opportunity play. All right. On the top 200 here, Pulse is up 12.4%. So it's the only one out of the three that's not there yet. But we'll see if it gets there. SNEC, congratulations to the SNEC community. You guys got listed on crypto.com. That's a big congratulations to you guys. Up 2.6%. Cheems, don't know Cheems, but cool name there. 6.3% pull up. Rect pulled up 8.7%. B is up 5.6%. I don't know what B is. It's like a baby lion. What else do we have here? ZBCN, sorry, Courtney, is pulled down 6.7%. But hey, that's okay. You were up 20. Yeah, you were up 22% yesterday. What else? Pith has pulled back 4.3%. Our guys from the Dog Army, shout out to our guys for the Dog Army. They are up 0.3% there. Zora has been in the headlines on crypto Twitter. They are up 2.4%. You got Brett, the meme coin from Base, is up 0.5%. What else? FTT. Is that what I think it is? Is that FTX coin?
Yeah, that's the FTX coin. Why is that going up? That's
I don't know. But didn't they?
Why is it still on the top 200?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like Luna the classic like high market cap at one point. So FTT. Well, wasn't there conversations too about like acquisition,
opening the decks back up? Yeah.
Okay, like someone was gonna buy them, but then like rebrand or something. I don't know, but they are up 5.7%. The Aerodrome up 0.3%. Useless, the main meme coin over on Abonk.fun, is down 1.8%. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up, guys, in the top 200. Hopefully this helped you guys out. But hey, some of these were shocking to me, but also degenerate. And to me, that's bullish. You know, like the Hex and Pulse Chain stuff, you know, that's been rocking for a good minute here the past couple of weeks. But when you got FTT up 5.7%, I don't know, man.
Real quick, do you know what the market cap of Pulse X is?
Hold on. All right,
it's no, you're not gonna guess it. You're not gonna be able to guess it. It's 5.4 billion.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Really? You thought this was $1 billion token?
I did because it was in the
not
top
Pulse, not Pulse.
Oh, no, because it was in the top. Yeah, because it got so I was like trying to use my data, my digital marketing data senses.
I honestly didn't think you would get it because I was shocked, dude.
I wasn't gonna. I don't know if I would have said 5 billion, but I was gonna say probably on the lower billions, like 1 to 3 or something.
Pulse Chain is what? Pulse Chain is 695 million. Like, okay, the FDV though is 633. So it's high. How the hell is your number one DEX almost the same valuation as your chain? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
how much of Hex and Pulse Chain and all that stuff makes any sense in general?
No, yeah, you're right.
But there was something that was cool that we learned about yesterday about like the Cardano community and how their approach to get a lot of like Japan onboarded and stuff. They like literally went door to door. That's how I view Hex, bro. They're like a sales team. You know, whenever they would have those conferences, they would have people speaking at them. I'm like, I feel like this is MLM 101 right now. Yeah. And I'm about to buy some because they're good. No, I'm just kidding.
They're so good. They're so good.
They are good at it.
But like, which one do you buy? They have 3 tokens. All right. Let's kind of get into the next thing here, which is roll call. Each day we like to showcase the people that are in the comments. You really appreciate every single one of you guys. But we take that first comment of the day, and that first comment is Webdro. Shout out to Webdro. Webdro is here every single day. I appreciate you, my friend. Let's throw the chart up here real quick. All right, so you have win number 40. Congratulations to you. You have won every single day since last Thursday. I mean, it's no competition anymore. You've just been winning, and like Luki did say that Yagobi putting out the later streams wrecks him. Just a heads up.
I'm not doing it to help anybody. I just want to be clear. I actually was going to say this yesterday. There's a reason why I do it later, and it's because I try to wait for the latest news. And it's not easy because, like, you know, right afterwards, like you know, you can just get old stuff, and you don't want to
Yeah.
be headlining that.
100%. Like he says, congrats, WebDro. Lately, it's been too late for me, and I had no chance to catch it since I'm from the EU. Yeah, so
Now I feel horrible, dude.
I know you're gonna take a frog from him, bro. No, I don't know what you should do, because I think the later put ups are better news articles and it actually gets a good title for the show. But I don't want to screw over Lucky Lukey either if it's 2 o'clock in the morning for him. You know what I mean? But I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Tim Baker's here. He said WebDro bot. Yeah, he might be a bot. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Hydra Savings said, let's go for real. ETFs and paper BTC on TradFi are 100% holding the price down. So they're not paper BTC anymore. They're actually in-kind redemption for sure. So I don't know. It's not paper anymore. Well, technically it is. But yeah, I don't know. Merlin's Lucky is here. Shout out to Merlin's Lucky. Rare Sats Dom is here, my guy, every single day. OnePlus at is here. Shout out to OnePlus at. Chota says we're gonna run to 145 BTC and Fear and Greed will be around 90. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Fear and Greed to be in the 90s. Have we experienced that? I know we had a little bit of run up. We haven't.
It's been a conservative Fear and Greed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Has.
And so, which is a good sign, to be honest. Ethereum getting back to these levels and the Fear and Greed is chilling. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, really good sign. 1 equals X is here, all in Bitcoin. Yeah, I agree. Ecosystem. I love you add the ecosystem in there. That was good. Like you said, yeah, the stream times have been helping me much. Yeah, so you're helping WebDro, but you're not helping Likey Lukey. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I'm helping myself, man.
Abstract says, what's up? What's up, Abstract? Chips and Dip is here, said August is going to suck. K99 said Fed will not cut rates this year. Vader Time says, what's up? What's up, Vader Time? You guys, man, every single day. Satoshi Nakamoto says, today is going to be bad. Oh, man, the comments today. Oh, man. Spindrift is here. Shout out to Spindrift, GM. Bitcoin Truth. I won yesterday. Yes, guys. So every Tuesday, we're going to be streaming with our good friends over at Tokyo Wallet. And Guido, the guy over there, said, hey, let's give away some Tokyo. So we put everyone who commented on that stream into the wheel. So next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm not sure what time that is for you, get in those comments because you will be put on that wheel and potentially win. He said an even bigger prize next week. So shout out to Bitcoin Truth. You have to send me your wallet address, by the way, and we're going to get you your 5,000 toke. But next week, he said bigger. Crypto Winner is here. He says, man, we're going to get wrecked today. Powell is going to be hawkish. We'll see what happens at 2:30. I was feeling that way this morning as well, but now I'm kind of feeling a little bit of feel a little bit of sunlight now.
You feel a little better, huh? You feel a little better. You
got that the price helps. The price helps. But yeah. Glasshopper is here. Says good morning. What's up, Glasshopper? Chief Axel says GM Alkanes. Okay. Yeah, good luck, man. That's those mints are tough over there. Erdrick said last chance to bring the broom. What is he talking about? Bring the broom.
Sweep. Last time to sweep up some cheaps.
Oh, makes sense. Leo BTC is here. He says NPYY soul flying. Any idea what that means?
Maybe a project on Solana. I think that's the only thing I can think of.
John Wayne says 10x leverage on Kraken as a couple hours ago.
10x of what though?
Kraken.
Maybe 10xing Bitcoin or like Ethereum.
Stan says any updates on Kraken Inc. So I'm planning to spend some time with it this week. I haven't got a chance yet and kind of see where, because Kraken already kind of says they're gonna have the Inc token, right? So that's something Base does not have. That's actually really bullish to me because that makes me think I need to be using that chain as often as possible because I want that Inc token. Screw the Kraken stock. I want the Inc token. But yeah, I'm going to be using that. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure that's going to have an airdrop, but we'll see. KDN says GM. Myself says I love gold. Shout out to you, my friend. And then Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, man. Really pushing. He says hustle, crushing it, Chizzy. Dude,
it is.
Hustle. Dude, did you see the chart?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Look at this. So
I can't. There it is.
So completely getting wrecked, out of trend, full U, back up. It hit over 30 million again, did drop back down to 27. Dude, this is actually impressive. Look at that. Came down right to my line, though.
What I was going to
bounced right
say
off
is,
it.
like if it revisits that blue line one more time and it bounces back up, we have found support there. So, you know, that's good that it bounced off of that support level that, you know, you set that line to the first time, because it did look like it broke trend, but it's okay if it breaks trend to go sideways a little bit. You got to remember, guys, Hustle went from $2 million to 30, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it go to 30 something?
Yeah, it hit 30. It went to 33, almost 32 and a half.
Okay, so 33, 2 million to 33. There was a migration. A lot of the people that migrated were Tensor holders that went through like a hard time because, you know, being on Pump Fund, the Hustle team didn't have ways to be able to really get that token really going strong, because there's some early whales that would just constantly sell down. They were making a lot of money doing it, like, right? But the thing is now that they have control over the LP to be able to, you know, give some strength to the token, there's still going to be people that take profits. And that's what happened, in my opinion. I think there were some OGs in Tensor that got in early. They took profits. They were like, I got to have some wins from this, and then left moonbags or whatever. But we're already almost back there now again.
Yeah, these two candles, man, are some of the strongest candles I've ever seen. Huge buys came in for these two. So absolutely monstrous buys. So yeah, shout out to I hope you got in that cash, because
he did
as a win for you. Did he? Awesome.
Yeah, he just wishes he got in earlier. Don't we all? but the thing is that they have a good business model. You know, at least like in theory and plan. And so we'll see how that affects, because migrate.funds revenue is going to go back to Hustle. Hustle's going to have a business model utilizing the token to get access to like the advanced version of Hustle. So these guys, man, we love these guys. We've known them for a while, since we've been covering the space, and they are genuine, but they're also hard-working dudes that are very smart. So
yeah, and they don't stop either. Like they streamed yesterday, right? This is a team that's tokens doing absolutely insane, and they're doing live streams on the daily. So shout out to those guys, man. Myself says sometimes the market chooses the copy. Ethereum is a copy of Ethereum Classic, or it's a fork, but yeah, same thing. CryptoPunks are a copy of V1 CryptoPunks. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So V1 CryptoPunks are the ones that are actually on chain, though, right?
Yeah, Ethereum's chain. Yeah, which I would love to own one of those.
Yeah, I wonder how much
the
OGs.
They're probably the ones that are like $5 million.
Yeah,
you know, that the institution bought 3, I think, for like 5.5 million or something.
Myself says, as the supply decreases, the market cap price will rise. As the supply decreases, what are you talking about?
I think he's talking about maybe Ethereum? Hex or maybe Hex or Pulse Chain, because I think that came in after we were hitting on that.
Gotcha. Erdrick says Inc market cap is like 250, all core bonded together. So you get Inc. Ink's like so there's another token too I'm gonna tell you about. So Inc is like you stake PLS, you stake PLSX, and you get this thing called Inc. It's like the reward token for staking, and it's at value at 200.
That's a different Inc, right?
No, well, it's not Inky. It's not the
Kraken one.
I think Erdrick is talking about the Hex one.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's one in Hex that it's INC. It's called Ink, but yeah, it is not the Kraken one, no. DJ Clitty Letter is here. Shout out to my guy.
Yo!
He said Richard Hart can now buy more purses. Yeah, I guess he can. Myself says every post halving year August has been green. Will this time be different? I'm gonna get those charts tomorrow. And I kind of want to see them. We haven't looked at them in a while, the monthlies and the
well, that makes me feel even better about the monthly chart. You know?
Yeah, 100%. FFs, he said, wish I got Hustle earlier. Thing is a beast. A great call, brother. Yeah, man, dude, we've had Jake on every single week for what, 8 weeks now. If it wasn't Jake, it was Adam, and they just, I mean, when you hear someone so passionate talking about their project, it's kind of like, okay, I need green
light.
Yeah, I need to get in this. Shout out to Cash. Shout out to every single one of you guys who makes roll call each and every day. It means so much to us. But let's jump back into some more news here. So where was it? Okay. NASDAQ listed BTCS Incorporated to raise $2 billion through preferred stock warrants to acquire more Ethereum for its treasury. So we do know this is another company that's been following Tom Lee's lead. They've actually sold all their Bitcoin, which they're BTCS, which is funny enough, and now they're Ethereum treasury. It's time for a name change, in my opinion. But $2 billion purchase is coming for ETH. Dude, Ethereum about to get bought up quick.
You know who hates this the most are the and Samson Mao and Adam Back and all these people that these companies are named Bitcoin holding treasury and stuff like that. I mean, I forgot Tom Lee's name. It's not Bitcoin, but it's like Bit something.
Bitminer.
Bitmine Holdings, and now you have BTCS, but it's TradFi and Tom Lee's someone that's we respect his intelligence. He's a really smart guy, but he's also opportunistic because he has that capitalist mentality. So if you need more signs that a rotation is happening to where dominance will go down again, I don't know. You got to pay closer attention because this is like the fourth or fifth headline. First of all, we know Bitcoin is the best asset in this class. It's the hardest asset. It will always be the best asset. But there is a time and place for opportunity. And I mean, it's not that much different in terms of the time and place of opportunity in previous cycles, except for those retail whales that were doing it. Now it's institutional companies that are giving you guys, hey, look, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. This is another example of that.
Yeah, 100%. More and more. And then another one back to back here. 180 Life Sciences raises $425 million to launch ETH treasury strategy, and they're going to rebrand. They were a life science company. They're going to rebrand it to ETHZilla. Like, what the hell is going on, bro?
Love it. But real quick though, 425 million to buy ETH. Yeah. The previous one, I forgot how many million, but it was 100. Okay, 2 billion. To buy ETH. All right, this is another. I'm gonna give you guys some more alpha information using data here. Yesterday, we reported on a company that was raising $75 million, a measly $75 million to buy Bitcoin. That company's stock plummeted, meaning that people are paying attention to this. Mm-hmm. They want the Ethereum rotation right now.
I feel like Ethereum's that shark, dude. Like Deanie. It's just coming. It's just coming, dude. There's no stopping it at this point. It's really gonna be. It's gonna push Bitcoin up as well because this is all good. In in every sense. So.
Yeah, exactly.
$4 trillion JPMorgan partners with Coinbase to make buying crypto easier. What do you think about this? So this kind of goes with this one right here. JPMorgan. So this was kind of out of rotation here, but JPMorgan partners with Coinbase partners with JPMorgan to bring crypto to 180 million users via USDC rewards, Chase card funding, and direct bank integration starting 2026. So think about this. So in the Genius Act, the stablecoin providers cannot offer yield, but places like Coinbase, Kraken, and other third parties can. And JPMorgan partnering with Coinbase will allow anyone who wants to hold USDC to actually get rewarded. JPMorgan can't do it with their own coin, but they can do it with a third party. So there's actually loopholes in the Genius Act that they're actually using to go around that to earn yield for their users.
And I'm sure a lot of these banking institutions prefer this, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because they're not left on the hook. I mean, at the end of the day, if something huge bad happens, of course, they'll be a part of the group of people that are left on the hook. But the big people left on the hook on something goes bad here is Coinbase or that third party issuer, and they trust Coinbase. So to them, they just take the cut from Coinbase. Coinbase gives JPMorgan, hey, look, we're going to give your users or customers this much cash back, kickback or whatever, and then but like we're gonna give you this little much or whatever. So it's like these are deals being made right now, and for them that's just get rid of the headache. Let them be the third party that manages that. We'll just be the the storefront for everything. We have the millions of customers right now, anyways. So
yeah, but the question is like, how are they getting this yield? Right. So I think the only way that I know how they're getting yield, they're taking this, putting it on the base chain, locking USDC with, maybe PYUSD or another type of stable coin, right? Like how else are they getting these type of these yields unless they're using USDC to get, buy assets like Bitcoin and then I don't know, or Ethereum and staking. I don't know. How is this yield being made?
They're creating the system that the banks created hundreds of years ago to, just centralizing people's money. Like when you deposit, you just some small fine print. It's understood that the banks use everybody's money to make more money, right? And then that's whenever they have to offer some sort of product that allows the consumer to earn something, and so that's why they offer CDs. That's why they offer savings account interest and stuff like that, which is very minimal, But so the Coinbases and these third party companies, they're creating that system as we speak. They already have a strong idea of how it works, or they have it ready already. But what we're going to see, it has to be a system that can't fail, though. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And so because of that, like that's where they'll get the yield, because like you said, they'll have ways, whether it's putting stable up against another stable, or if it's staking ETH or whatever the strategy is. It's it's going to be in the small fine print, mind you, that JPMorgan offers their consumers. But how many people are going to read that? You know what I mean? True. So that's where I think this is me. Think this is me speculating on how this is going to work, but it has to have some sort of like formidable system that it cannot be. It has to be very ironclad.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So these banks only have to hold 10% of the actual assets, so they can potentially lend that to Coinbase. Coinbase can use that money to take out loans, right? When the Bitcoin and stuff like that. So I mean, if all you have to hold if the banking is 10% of the cash, then you're always going to be fine, because then the Fed's going to come in and bail you out if you get in any trouble, right? So it's another sense of urgency there as well. All right. Speaking of Brian Armstrong, though, he says the rest of the G20 countries and central banks are looking into buying Bitcoin as their strategic reserve. He said he was down there at the G20 meetings, and he knows for a fact that they're all talking to him, thinking about and wanting to learn about a Bitcoin strategy and a strategic reserve. What do you think, man? Do you think we're about to enter a point where countries and nation states come in and start buying Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Hand over fist?
Yeah. Oh, hand over fist. I don't know about that. It's gonna have to be very strategic. But this is probably something that makes Saylor smile, because if he's going to eventually slow down to the point to where he's not, his strategy, this stuff got to turn up a lot, because if this turns up a lot, then the Bitcoin that he has puts him really far into the positive, to where he can either get out of that situation, do the stock buybacks or whatever he has to do. But like this is good for the people that like have these Bitcoin holding strategies and strategic reserve strategies. Is you want nation states to FOMO, you want nation states to create their own strategy, you want institutions, you want the Googles and Microsofts and Nvidias to have their strategy as well. And I don't know if that day comes, but if it does, we're talking about crazy prices for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know it's going to get insane, right? So let's just say the companies are buying up all the ETH, the countries are buying up all the Bitcoin. It could get pretty wild, man.
Yeah. And one thing real quick I want to point out is people are probably wondering, like, how's Bitcoin looking so strong and all this stuff? Because it does look strong. Should it be higher? Some people might say yes. I think it's actually at a good price where it is, but it will go higher. But you have to understand, previous cycles, what the rotation would be: old Bitcoin maxi whales getting out, and new buyers come in. That's how it works. We know that.
Yeah.
But the new buyers this time aren't just retail whales. They're institutions which hold. Institutions, whenever they feel like strongly about an asset, they don't flip it for 2 months down the road. They are buying this to hold. So that's what's keeping the price up, is that the new buyers are power buyers.
Yeah, 100%. And they're long-time holders too. They're not people, to your point, right? They're going to hold these things for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, because that's what they've proven with gold. Right? They don't sell gold. They don't sell any gold. Never hear anything about this country is sold gold, nothing like that. So Hyperliquid yesterday experienced a 20 minutes of downtime. This happened on Tuesday, which was yesterday, during which multiple traders reported issues with trade execution. Hyperliquid says API outage was caused by a spike in traffic, not a hack or an exploit. So my first question to you is, do you believe Hyperliquid and saying this was API outage and not a hack? And second, how upset would you be if you went to go pull out of a trade and it wouldn't let you?
Pretty upset. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. 20 minutes is forever for a platform like that. But is it unbelievable? Not necessarily. Is it both ways? By the way, like, is it like, I think it could have been a hack and they're covering up, or it could have not been a hack and it just was like that. They had an issue with downtime. But because there was that issue before with one of the traders strategically trying to crush Hyperliquid, I think it scared a lot of people. And a lot of people got out of their positions at a loss, or they sold down their hype at a loss, and that pissed off a lot of people, or it made them feel like dirty, with that whole situation. So that first incident is showing it's still having a ripple effect a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, but I did look at Hype's price, and Hype's price didn't really, dive too hard. It's still in the low 40s, and that was higher.
Well, it's only 20 minutes. 20 minutes. It did have a little bit of a candle, but then it kind of came back up once they they got back up and running again.
Yeah. So, I think this is probably not. It's probably was overblown a little bit. But we'll see if there's any more of these. They can't have too many of these coming up, because it scares everybody every time that they hacked. I got to take my liquidity out. That's one of the biggest things. And then whenever you take your liquidity out of the perps and leverage decks, that's what's the strength behind it. You know what I mean? And if you have huge whales taking out hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidity, that's why they probably had to pause whatever, and it's like, because if they do that, that could be the worst ripple effect or waterfall effect.
I'm warning all you guys now. Hyperliquid is a ticking time bomb. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well for this. And I do love it. I do love it's decentralized. I do love how it's on chain. I do love everything about it. But it's a ticking time bomb on the sense of there's big players in this space who don't like it, right? I'm talking Binance. I'm talking OKX. I'm talking some of the biggest mafia players in crypto mafia, right? If there's a crypto mafia, it would be these guys, and they don't like it. They're going to blow this thing up, but they're going to wait for it to kind of peak, in my opinion. They're going to wait for like something's going to happen first, kind of like Terra Luna. That's going to end up being like the FTX. I think Hyperliquid's going to be like the FTX after something else blows up and they can't withstand like the heat of that, and then the pressure just melts up and then they blow up. And then when you go to withdraw your assets from the Hyperliquid chain to Arbitrum, you can't, because your assets are gone, right? So I think it's a ticking time. I do think this gets to the 120 or 130, but I do think it eventually blows up and goes to zero.
So then, is there not a possibility that like we can have an on-chain perps and leverage decks that has that level of success? Is that you don't think they will allow it?
After it dies, you're gonna see Binance, OKX, they're gonna create one together. You know what I mean? They want it, but they want control of it. Like that's in my opinion, right? I think that there'll be another one that comes out from the ashes of some type, and it's by the bigger players in the space. I just don't see them allowing this. They're losing too much money. They're losing too much money.
I mean, Binance still does the most volume, right?
Yeah, but they've lost probably like 20% from where it was before Hyperliquid started. The last cycle, they'll never get back to those numbers.
So they can't give up 20% market share, or you think they're afraid that they're going to continually continually give up market share, and that's why?
If you talk to anybody anymore, they always say, "Oh, I have a leverage on Hyperliquid," especially
that is
right?
kind of
everyone
true, yeah.
says Hyperliquid. Everyone says Hyperliquid, right? And right now, I think they're okay with giving that market of of the West and the Midwest, right? Meaning Europe and stuff like that. But eventually, they're going to want that. They're going to want those users. How do you get those users? Well, the users are if Hyperliquid blows up, they're going to move on to centralized exchanges. But you have to remember too, Bybit. When Bybit got hacked, they stopped all Ethereum trades. Right, you couldn't.
But they got dude, they got bailed out, bro.
They did.
They got bailed
out
by who?
By the crypto mafia, right? The same people I think are going to come and take down Hyperliquid. Like I said, I don't think it happens today. I don't think it happens next month. I don't think it happens this year. I do think it happens when it's too big. It gets too big and they start getting angry.
Well, can it get too big to fail though?
No, because that's more liquidity sitting there, and that's the thing too. It's going to grow in liquidity, right? In order for them to grow, they need to grow in liquidity.
I know, but like when I say too big to fail,
a lot of money sitting there. A lot of money sitting there.
When I say too big to fail, I mean like their entity's too big to where they can they have they create their own mafia to where they can bail themselves out. That could happen.
It could.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
they have to partner with some bigger.
But they need to get about 3 times bigger, and then have who else could they kind of bring into their ring though? That's the problem. Magic Eden. I know Magic Eden thinks
decentralized. You would go Uniswap. You would go 1inch. You would go with the decentralized players who've already won, right?
But that's the problem is that they are decentralized and they don't want to be all messy in groups and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the problem, right? But that's you'd have to go down that rabbit hole. You couldn't go with centralized platforms because technically Magic Eden doesn't want them to survive either, right? No one wants them to survive because they want those.
They did seem like they were more aligned in terms of I guess perspective with Hyperliquid because Magic Eden wants to do the on-chain stuff too. Yeah. And they probably don't like the big dogs big bullies trying to bully these new companies around.
I think it's messed up. Don't get me wrong, right? I think it's totally messed up. I just see it as this cycle's Terra Luna or FTX, one of the two, right? To where it's either going to collapse and take a lot of things down with it, or something else is going to collapse and it's going to affect Hyperliquid, right? So, but we will see. But like I said, I don't think it happens until right now. At $43, they're being looked at. They're like, oh yeah, they're just. But if they keep growing and if they keep scaling the way they have been over the last couple months, I think they're going to put a target on their backs because they're growing too quickly.
Well, they've already had a target on their backs. They've been, slammed.
Yeah, but it's not a huge target. It's not like they need to come out. Like imagine if Binance or OKX or Bybit start losing market share to them heavily. That's when the target gets bigger.
Yeah, true.
All right, so Arjun, the CEO of Kraken, with another post today, and this is something me and you both got really excited about when we saw it. So the CEO of Kraken posted this:
a billionaire. Yeah.
Look at the Red Bull. It says, I think it's something at SBO. I don't know, but what do you think, man? Every single day, the CEO of Kraken, this man right here, posts about runes. I mean. It's almost
we're gonna have a list of runes that are gonna be planned to be listed on Kraken. The bigger question to me is because they've committed so much to runes, do they have developers building right now a bridge from runes to Ink chain?
Possibly. I mean, it would be as easy as, hey, withdraw your Kraken assets to Ink. Right, and their EVM, right? So the Kraken can back them 1-to-1 as long as they're listed.
Yeah,
it would be that easy.
I mean, I think it would be smart because what else they could do is just build up these huge liquidity pools too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so it's but look, if that happens, then they're part of the arms race of trying to be like this home base of trading decentralized Bitcoin assets. So it's gonna be interesting, man. Kraken, I love what they're doing. They're trying to go fast and break things, but they're doing things that other centralized exchanges wouldn't dare to do. And I think that just like Magic Eden rolled the dice in the beginning of ordinals, it paid off like a mofo for them. And I think it's going to pay off for Kraken as well.
Yeah, think about that too. That maybe they take those assets that you have on Kraken and they put them in LP pools, right? And then they put them in LP pools, because they're backed 1-to-1. They have full control over it because they're the ones that own the bridge, right? So at the same time, it's like if anything does happen, the only assets that are effed are the ones on Ink chain. It's not the actual assets that you hold on Kraken, right? As long as they can show reserves, they're fine. And I don't know, man. I think this is a huge deal. People don't really understand what is happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and I think runes are about to go nuts. I think, you know, with the Mim's going to get long. Mim's probably going to be the next one that's put on Kraken, followed by Billy, Gizmo, Pups, and Lobo. I think that those are the ones getting put up there. I know the guys over at OSD, Ordinal's Sport Desk, they hate Lobo, especially decentralized. I'm in a chat room with them, and he's just saying the community's fake. They're all bullshit. Like, he's really going after the Lobo guys because he thinks that it's just all bots. But you got to remember, Leonidas is helping Kraken, right? They're helping Kraken, you know, on board, and they ask him, hey, who should be on board? And Leonidas remembers that, hey, the guys over at Buoyant Capital were the ones who bought the runestone, the original runestone, and actually helped do the airdrop for Dog, right? They were big contributors to the Dog airdrop. And, you know, Lobo the Wolf Pup is their baby. It's their meme coin. So he's definitely pushing the Kraken guys to Lobo. But I think that's fine. I think it's fine as long as the top runes as well get listed, like Mim, Billy, Gizmo, and Pups. How do you feel about all that?
I feel like, look at the cartoon pictures that he's putting up, and then just put whatever coin into that fits the image. And if there's one that is in more of those images than the others, and you rank those that way.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look then, right? So let's just go back down to his post. We'll check the last one. The newest one was Billy. So I guess we can lock in Billy, because this is a Billy post. This is completely Billy. There's nothing else here. Maybe a dog paw, but that's it, right? And then let's go down a little bit. You have Magic Internet Money. I guess right here, Magic Internet Money, Lobo, Billy again, and Pups. No, but you don't see. I guess you don't see Gizmo here, right? So no Gizmo there. But let's drop it down a little bit. So in this one, you see Magic Internet Money, you see Lobo the Wolf Pup, you see Pups, you see Billy. We don't know if this is Bro Bear or Gizmo.
that one's weird. Well, Gizmo has pointy ears, doesn't he?
He has cat ears.
Yeah, which I think is.
Hold on, I can go down. Hold on. And then here you have Lobo and Dog, right? And
there's Gizmo. Never mind. They're round ears. They're round ears.
Yeah. So Gizmo. I think
no Billy in that one though.
No Billy in that one, no. And then we'll drop it down even further. So the Gizmo does have pointy ears here.
What
right? Is that Bro Bear? I think it might be Bro Bear. Is Bro Bear going to get listed?
Maybe.
I don't know. But this is a Chad ass Gizmo. I say it every time, but
Dude, I love it. You fell in love with that Gizmo, bro. What's going on?
I don't know, man. This might be my new PFP. I'm not gonna lie. This Chad ass Gizmo. But moving along here, you do have I don't know what this is. It looks like a wizard.
What was that video, bro?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, bro. But he reposted this, and there's a bunch of Bitcoin, and they got the wizard again, right? This video is so dope.
Billy.
You got Bro Bear and Elephant Rune.
Wait, Elephant Rune was in there?
Elephant in the Rune, yeah, it was there. So then you have Wanko, Menko, and Mr. Yen. Did you see that?
So Mr. Yen? Video, I don't want to look. I feel like this video is gonna throw everybody off.
I know. I mean, see, so he didn't post it, he reposted it, right?
Yeah.
That's saying it. So look at this. It's Mr. Yen. It's Bip, right? Mason and Panda. It's Wanko Manko. What the hell is this thing? what the hell is
Mr. Bird? Yen?
Mr. Yen's right there, bro. In his suit.
That bird does look familiar though.
I know. I can't pinpoint it. We got some time. Maybe people in the chat. He says, Cash Cat says Gizmo puts out fire memes. Good to have a bag. Yeah, you gotta have a bag, Gizmo. Like Elise said, it's all good, guys. I finally have time to do something other than constantly refreshing YouTube. I'm sorry, buddy. DJ Clady Letter says Lobo to the moon. I want Lobo to go to the moon just to piss off Block and the OSD guys. I'm sorry. I want it to be the #1 rune now.
Aren't they pissed because the entire runes ecosystem is they're all getting attention?
Well,
I mean,
they're all
the main players.
Yeah, and yet the BRC20s are just fully collapsing, especially the 2.0.
What are you talking about, bro? This is gonna be the next big thing. I have like I have dust on the side ready for it. I was kidding.
DJ Clitter said, "Not me. I love Lobo. I met those guys in Nashville. Great team. You met the Lobo team. That's awesome. I didn't even know they were in Nashville.
I didn't run into them, but we did run into you. That was fun at that one event Magic Eden threw.
Yeah. Base Internet Panda again. You do. Who's this?
Oh, I think that's that monkey, Mark.
Oh,
Was his
Mark's
name Mark?
Monkey. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the AI monkey or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow, man! Whoever made this video, man,
it's a dope video, bro.
They got some deep bags of like some of these lower market cap stuff.
Dude, look at Mr. Yen on the dirt bike,
Dude,
bro.
Mr. Yen has to come back, bro. Mr. Yen has to come back. Like, when Mr. Yen is back, then like the energy is different. Whenever those memes are hitting, the energy in the Runes ecosystem is just different. Mr. Yen, if you're listening, I know you're a hard worker and you love your son, but just bring it back. Bring back the memes.
Bring back the memes for sure, for sure. I think we're supposed to be being joined by Cyclops, but what's going on with that? Should we just keep going then?
Yeah, here, I'll tag him as well, just so. But
yeah.
I think they just finished the thing, and he's probably getting that sandwich.
All right, so SoFi CEO Anthony Noto said his fintech company strategy, including hiring, developing, borrowing, and staking options for clients, eventually a stablecoin. SoFi, I'm not really familiar with SoFi. I know they're just like they're one of the
social finance. Is it social finance? Is that what it stands for? Oh, it's a company. Never mind.
It's a company. Yeah, it's basically a buy now, pay later, I think, and they help you if you have let's just say your credit cards are out of control. They'll actually give you a loan to pay off your credit cards, and then you pay them a certain amount each month. They're one of those type of companies too. But you can also trade stocks there as well, I believe, on the SoFi app. I had the app downloaded because it was a really easy way to check your score, your credit score. It always had it like live. You could just go to the app without having to go to those sites, and it was a really good app. And then I remember they added stocks and stuff. Now they're going to be adding crypto, but it's another TradFi type of company now coming into crypto, and they mentioned staking, lending, and borrowing.
Yeah. They hopefully they have some good interest APR that you can earn, because those companies typically charge you like 30, 50, 40% when you take a loan out. But maybe they have some good staking options there. I think those companies probably rush into crypto. They like the high yields, and they know that there's a good degenerate section of the space that maybe they can intrigue and have some products for them. But yeah, I mean, more and more fintech companies are going to be onboarding and coming in and stuff like that. No surprise here.
Yeah, not at all. That's everything I had in the news area. So
do you want to hit
some Sats Terminal? I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they're not joining us, but guys, head over to satsterminal.com. This is the place you want to buy your runes. I'm not even saying that because they're a partner of ours, nothing like that. It's just because of these things right here. If you go to rewards, right, I think that Sats Terminal is going to be one of the biggest opportunities, and I say that because you can swap
air farm
aggregator, and you can potentially air farm these coins. I think when I think of these, I'm not going to put words in the team's mouth at all, but I think that these are very similar to the Magic Eden Diamonds. And everyone knows what happened if you had Magic Eden Diamonds in November. You got a massive, massive airdrop. I'm not saying they're going to do an airdrop, but I'm just saying you're going to want these Amber points, and you're going to want them as soon as possible. But yes, we are lucky enough to have one of the core team members here. Let's bring him up. Cyclops, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going well, man. How you been?
I'm good. A lot of personal things and that I have to take care of, and then a lot of work at work. So,
yeah,
every once in a while I look at the news and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that's going.
Yeah. There's definitely like a lot of stuff happening in the world, and hopefully the people in Hawaii are safe right now with the tsunami and all that stuff as well. But and then you get slammed with work, and right now it's like our space is in this weird, like, we know that there's something coming, but like, you got to be ready if you're a builder, so you got to cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Is that where the team is right now? Is just making sure that like you guys are ready for an influx of new retail users and an influx of just liquidity and capital as well? Where's the mindset of the team?
Basically, so like there's some things that are about to get like released, certain things that we're like working on, and then there's the existing like scaling. So we have like people working on all those things. It's just we're all like working on a separate thing at the moment. So like we just barely know what's going on. Like I haven't even been able to like process, like, did that tsunami happen from like
What tsunami?
So there was an
like
there was an
in Russia?
earthquake in Russia that was I think measured at an 8.8 Richter scale, and so it was the largest one since like the early 2000s. And so because of the location, there's the tsunami warnings for Alaska, the west coast of the US, but then Hawaii's right in the middle of all that. So from what I saw, there was, the waves did come over a bit, but it's not like as bad, but like getting updated on it, constantly. So the last time I checked, I want to say it was about probably an hour and a half ago, and it hadn't like done like crazy damage that they thought yet. So that's a good news headline there.
Yeah, like I don't know, like every time I'm like scared to look at the news.
Yeah, that's why it's, if that happens and numbers going up, just stare at the chart, man, and make you feel better. Shizzy wasn't in the best of moods this morning, and I was like, oh man, all right, is it gonna be one of those? And all of a sudden Bitcoin started going up. He's like, hey, I'm back.
Oh yeah, so Bitcoin, because I have a leverage position, it goes like up and down.
We all do, buddy. We all do. I'm kidding.
Like, I'd rather just not look at this right now. Like, it's probably not gonna like leave this range.
Well, technically, runes are a leverage play on Bitcoin, right? I mean, if Bitcoin drops, runes drop 15%. If Bitcoin runs, runes can fly up 15%, 20% in some cases, right? So it is that, right? So everyone technically, if you have a Bitcoin derivative, you're technically in leverage.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good point.
A lot of those.
Speaking about that though, with you guys, I mean, you guys, I looked at some of the data, and on average, it's, if you take the decentralized route, you're going to get about 2 to 3% more runes if you go through satsterminal.com than a centralized exchange. But like at the same time, it's like the support that's coming from, these centralized exchanges finally is happening. With you guys though, you got to fill the entire market out that's here as well. And you guys do that with a space, every Wednesday morning. And so what are you guys seeing? Are you seeing more interest from the people that are here presently in the Bitcoin ecosystem about Alkanes or about runes? What are you guys seeing?
I think it's mostly runes. So like, I think Alkanes, we haven't integrated the AMMs yet. Like we're about to be finished. We just have like a huge backlog of stuff. So we don't see that. The Alkanes guys definitely have like a huge following on Twitter, so like I'm pretty sure there's something there. It's also hard to gauge because I think with like all ecosystems, there's like some runes guys you talk to, and like they're always going to tell you that like Alkanes isn't doing really well, and then when you talk to Alkanes, they're going to be like, yeah, this is the future. So I'm just excited to see how it turns out all around.
Someone that comes from the Cardano ecosystem like you had all that experience. Does this frustrate you though? Because you know that like eventually they had to come to like a language that all the developers, because that it wasn't about necessarily the token standard for you guys. It was about like developer language and figuring things out to like get on one page. Does this frustrate you that like we're having multiple meta protocols, or do you view this as bullish?
I mean, like, I do think like we really moon once everybody agrees on a token standard, but at the same time, like I think it is cool just to see what's going to happen, because I think it's like evolving tech, and like we're not like fully up there to like an accounts based like chain that has, because like you have the core DAOs on Bitcoin, and they all have to agree, and it's one of those things where I think we're like, because it's a little bit harder, there's more opportunity to like get in, if that makes sense. Whereas like once it's figured out, it's like if you're trying to build on like Sui, it's gonna be hard because all the developers are there, right? And people are established in it. Here it's more like you can you're just watching it grow up, and like I kind of like being in that situation as opposed to going to big space.
100%. And like, I don't think we need to pick a token standard. I think, I think Bitcoin's big enough to have 9 token standards on it, only because it's a $2 trillion asset. I mean, it really can. Well, so think about it this way. So if I would have told you that we're going to have 7,500 blockchains, you're going to be like, oh crap. Like, really? What do we need 7,500 blockchains? Why do we need Sonic? Why do we need Ethereum, Solana, so on and so on, right? Why do we need 16 ETH2s?
But what's your long-term thesis though on that though?
Oh, I think everything becomes down to a community, right? So I think of these as little neighborhoods. Every blockchain is their own little neighborhood, right? Their own community. And I think you can have that same thing on Bitcoin. So where we have these communities that build, and it's going to take dApps like Sats Terminal to come along. And I think one day you guys will figure out ways to be able to, I'm able to trade my ORDI for dog, right? And I think there's going to be opportunities for a lot of dApps to come along and power these adoptions to where we don't know what token standard we're using. That is the face of Bitcoin, in my opinion. And it's going to be dApps like Sats Terminal that's going to be kind of pushing that forward. And I think there's money involved to make from those transactions from going from one standard to another. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's like separate chains for sure. Like, and so we're going to do that. I think it's more from like the customer end, like, and I guess it's on the development end. It's like we have to make that like feel seamless. And so like once we get there, which is a work in progress because all these token standards keep coming online, and so which is no problem. It's a lot of fun, and I actually like enjoy like just kind of learning about the tech in general, because I know this. I guess I just nerd out on this stuff.
Yeah.
So like I just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, real quick though. So you did mention that Oil now has their own AMM. It's actually really cool. You can actually go here and you can swap. But it's not a very good experience, right? Like the way you swap and stuff, it's like I don't know. I don't like it. You can add liquidity, but when it's on Sats Terminal, where I'm able to just come here and click Alkanes and then use it, and then you guys are actually using that in the background, right, and actually doing it for me. But you're actually, so one thing I don't like about this either is, let's just say I do want to swap my methane for diesel, I'm immediately going back to the marketplace to make sure I'm not getting ripped off, right? So if Sats Terminal is able to take the DEX prices and the listing prices from not just ID Club but Unisat as well, I know going to Sats Terminal is going to be the best option for me, because I'm going to get the cheapest price no matter where it's at. Right?
On the buy side. So like you'll be able to make sure that you're going to buy the best price, but on the sell side, you're always going to have to use the AMM. Correct? Am I right with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the sell side, I think eventually once, like, it would be fun to have things kind of be put onto the limit orders. I think that's an important aspect of this, but first things first, incorporate everyone.
Yeah. So have you used the DEX at all? Has your team told you anything about the Oil DEX? Or are they excited for it? Are they bullish on it?
Yeah, like we it just, we get a DM and they're like, hey, the AMMs are live. And we're like, yes, we can't wait to incorporate that. We just have to finish this thing that we're currently working on. So yeah, it's gonna be up there very soon.
I will say though, I think that they're doing it the right way to get diesel that liquidity first and strong, because if it's at 145 right now and Alkanes, let's be honest, it's maybe like 20% of runes in terms of like attention, maybe 25%.
I would say less. I would say 10.
Yeah. But the fact that they have 100 what can you go back to the AMM? They have 145,000 for diesel. That's only going to grow. Or that's only going to grow. They're going to try to increase that to where, they can get it really strong and formidable. And then I think they could start a culture of people wanting to add liquidity to these things. So I will say for the start, this is not bad, what I'm seeing right here. But as I think all three of us know, here on the show, number go up technology is the best technology, right? So
Yeah.
if the cracking listings and it gives more usage to SaaS terminal as well, because people are going to want to get runes because number go up, that could kind of determine the winner, right? Well, Cyclops?
Yeah, I mean, I think Runes has a lot more infrastructure that already exists, so that's always going to be the case right now. But like, I can't speak for like a month, 2 months from now. Like it's either way, we want to aggregate everything.
Yeah, Shizzy, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, so I'm noticing something here that I didn't realize in the past, but you can't buy the stuff with Bitcoin. You can't use the DEX with Bitcoin.
What do you use?
You have to use methane and diesel. You can only participate in this swap if you have methane and diesel. You don't participate in the swap. There is no Bitcoin here.
Why?
I don't know. I just noticed that though. Isn't that weird? And so for you guys, that's terminal. So I'm gonna have to come over here in Alkanes and then go from Alkane to Alkane, right? I mean, you guys obviously enable that aggregation, right?
Yeah. So I think that's more when we start seeing the SDK. It's going to come from that.
Gotcha.
That can be game changing too, the SDK part, because if the product is solid, the SDK is basically white gloving it, and you can make the UI more sleek looking, more attractive. All you need is one platform to become really popular.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But it is a good point to bring up that it needs that all of them are in diesel pairs.
The ones with liquidity anyway. There's almost no liquidity for anything else. I mean, 86 cents for this one, but these two, diesel and fartane and methane, are the only ones that are. I mean, you're gonna lose out big if you do any of these with slippage.
Do you think they did that on purpose to encourage people to add liquidity, because people wouldn't want to pair Bitcoin up to something that's so new and volatile?
100%, 100,000%. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Because like, what you could do is you can dump all your diesel and get the Bitcoin out. You can dump all your methane and get the Bitcoin out. But you're going to dump all the methane and get diesel out. They don't care. They're like, whatever, we got methane, right? So it's like, but let's jump back to Sats Terminal real quick. I want you to be my salesman for a second, Cyclops, man. Sell me on these things called, because you guys don't have a lot of information out on these Amber points, and I want to make sure our community wins the race of and getting the most Amber points as a collective, right? But what would you say to somebody that says, Cyclops, what are these damn Amber points and why do I want them?
So the best I can say without being specific is, maybe you don't want them, maybe I want them, so we don't want to tell you. Because
all right. I guess that's.
The raccoon loves them, So
Ricky. Yeah. Well, we do know if you connect your wallet for the very first time, you get a good boost.
1,000. Yeah.
Like I'll just say, like we're not the only ones that have something like this, right? And like there's kind of a pattern. It just you just can't really say anything.
Gotcha. So, well, okay, let's make it as easy as possible here. Okay?
I was hoping you could give me something else, but it's all crazy. I understand.
But I think we can say this. Tell me if just shake your head yes or no. I was kidding. But okay, so every transaction on the platform you can earn some sort of Amber, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. We got that. That's a good baby step there. All right, and then if we connect the wallet for the first time, you get a boost. So you guys know those two things, right? So if you connect your wallet for the first time, a new wallet for the first time, a brand new wallet for the first time, you get a boost. And then transactions. Yeah.
So if you open up a wallet, make one trade, $5, $10, doesn't matter what it is, you immediately get 2,000. And then you link your Discord, you refer a friend, you get 500. And then you just get a quote, you get 10 points, right? So I highly recommend getting on this leaderboard. I mean, everyone on the leaderboard is probably going to make out really well, especially when it comes to in the future of being an early adopter, right? The earliest adopters usually get a nice reward, depending on what that reward is. But would you compare diamonds to these Amber points or no? The Magic Eden Diamonds?
They could definitely be comparable. To think about it this way, did you see the announcement from Fartain about the top 100 wallets?
No.
They got
I
an
don't follow
allocation.
Fartain. Should I be? Oh,
Yeah, they got an
That is
allocation.
Fartain is definitely a Chinese project.
oh my god!
If you go to
they're
their
like-
X,
Because like projects come up to us and they're like, "Hey, can we give out some of our token?" Like to their holders, and we're like, the easiest answer we can say is, "Yeah, we give you our top 100 wallets."
wow.
Because they're like we want to make sure like it's like legitimate people who are like farming. We're like, yeah, we could easily just give you our top 100. So we made an announcement a little while ago, and like I think there was like an airdrop or claim for it.
Am I top 100? I think I'm top 100, right?
Bro,
No,
you
I
ain't
don't
you,
think I am.
lost. You lost your
I
position,
know.
bro.
In this wallet, anyway. I'm what am I like 140 in this wallet? I gotta be like 150. God damn it! I didn't get the airdrop. I gotta push harder in this wallet. I'm gonna start pushing.
Yeah. So just know, like we talk with like a lot of projects, and oftentimes, like from a project's point of view, they're like, we want to have more wallets, that hold our token, and so things kind of go certain ways.
Gotcha.
100%.
All
We got a
right.
comment here from DJ Clitty. He says Bush did 9/11. Do you agree with that? I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
I don't know why he put that in there.
I mean, I can answer that if you want.
No, let's hold up on those questions. But you have a stalker here. Runes Dex is stalking you. Says they love Cyclops, and I think that's our guy Ord Deutscher, probably running behind the keyboard there.
Yeah.
And RuneDex is something that you guys aggregate from, right? So when I do a swap on, you guys are going to make sure that if RuneDex has the best liquidity for that asset, I swap there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I can actually technically double dip because I know RuneDex has their own point system as well, just like you guys have the Amber points. So potentially by using Sets Terminal and aggregating through RuneDex, it's a win-win in a lot of different ways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like just trying to go as many different routes too. It's kind of like a fun thing, and you'll be able to get points that way. Really fun thing. I don't know if you ever showed them, but like the Magic Eden swaps. I think sometimes the swaps go over people's heads on Magic Eden because when they first launched, like it wasn't very strong, and people are used to just seeing the order book, but the swaps on Magic Eden now are very, very good. And if you look up prices on there, when it doesn't directly route through Magic Eden, it routes through us. So you could see a swap on Magic Eden, like where you're trying to buy dog, and it routes through Sets Terminal, and it's buying off DotSwat or Runes Dex.
Wow. So I'll go to Runes, right, and then go to swap.
Yeah,
Magic Eden's
people just default going to the order book. You should be going to the swap mechanism.
Where is the swap for Runes? Let me see.
Should be right there.
So it's
if you click on like dog or like any rune, right?
Gotcha. There it is.
Yes, because they usually have you go straight to the buy, like it defaults there. And that's how that's how everybody knew it. But like if you go to the swap, that's actually the strongest way to do it. And so if you start buying, you see how it routes through Sats Terminal, and you're actually picking off DotSwap there. That was like the big breakthrough with Magic Eden.
That is actually huge for you guys to be part of this, because like right now I can't go get an order for dog, right? I got $4 in this wallet here, potentially, but I'm able to do it through you guys. All right. So, and even doing this here, I'm still earning Amber points.
Mm-hmm. And Magic Eden, if they have their diamonds live right now, and DotSwap points.
Yeah. And
so if you look at
does DotSwap have points?
I think they have a token.
Okay.
They do have a token.
If you click buy, right, you can buy $4 now on Magic Eden, but like before it was like if you wanted to buy, you had to, it wasn't a great UX that was here, even though we all bought off of Magic Eden. It's mainly because you just have to choose the lots, and so our algorithm is the best at like mixing up those lots to be able to buy for the amount that you want to buy. But like you also want to open yourself up to like market makers or like AMMs. So it's AMMs. So you could buy like $5 worth, and you just couldn't do that on Magic Eden at the time. I mean, because a lot of like the early BRC20s, you know, like in the heyday, it was all through this like, it was like buying an ordinal in a way.
Yeah, 100%. You got to buy a certain lot, just kind of just like how I still buy and sell BRC20s the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Which there are now like BRC 2.0s that's coming out.
Another one, and another one, and another one. This is like DJ Khaled, bro. He should be the spokesperson for Better Protocols on Bitcoin. Yeah, BRC 2.0 is coming out, and supposedly they're going to have their own computational environment. So we'll see if that was just a bunch of talk. And then there's LRC 20s, which is the Spark environment as well. So we'll see if that is going to be a game changer as well. But we do know that Runes is taking a lot of the attention. I would say right now, if I had to rank the top 3, I would say Runes, Alkanes, and then BRC 2.0. Shizzy, does that sound right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would have put Runes number 1 easily. I'm not bullish on BRC. I wouldn't even put BRC 20s in there.
I put Alkanes number 2.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't even put them on the list as top.
So you would put LRC 20s?
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So I wouldn't even put that on the list either.
Well, there's a lot of money though. There's a lot of money.
Spark raised a lot of money.
Well, you know, we found out, I think it was last week, that, you know, it was actually the team from Facebook.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
actually from Libra that is actually building that, right? And they on this, and there was an also, so the team split up, right? Some of them built Sui, some of them built Aptos, and now the other part of that is building Sparks. So I mean, obviously that Facebook team was a monster group, Libra, but once they squashed the project, well, once Elizabeth Warren squashed the project, you know, they all kind of split up, and you're getting the LRC 20 guys are being built by this amazing group of people. So I don't know, but right now they're you can't even buy the tokens yet. So right now I would just put Runes 1 and Alkanes 2.
Yeah.
Oh, and also just to go back to the macros, because you know how we did like series like a spaces that we're talking to like stable coins, you know, and you're just reading more and more about the Genius Act that just recently passed. I have a grand theory about this, which is very, very bullish for Bitcoin, which will ultimately be very bullish for this whole ecosystem. So like we basically had Tether, right? And it was like you buy the bond, you give the Tether, you keep the bond, you take the yield, you compound that, and you're buying more Tether, and so on and so forth, right? At a certain point, it's like, okay, so then what are you going to do with the Tether if you're minting it yourself? Well, you know, like a lot of those people like hold a lot of Bitcoin, so they were putting it into the price of Bitcoin and the price of alts. Genius Act basically just opened that up to everybody. And my theory is
you can't do Bitcoin with a Genius Act though.
It's only bonds. But you're buying bonds, right? And it's in crypto. So you're basically, if you're minting that, right, it's in crypto. The first thing you're going to buy is Bitcoin. And in many ways, you know, like people have argued that like the price of Bitcoin has been tied to the minting of Tether. It's just the way that it would work, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, where are you going to put that money? It's going to go into Bitcoin, right? I think the reason why the Genius Act happened was because you know how like the dollar is dying. We talked about Fort Knox when he got in the office, and that just quickly disappeared, right? Because it was like, where did all the gold go? I don't know if we have that gold, right? We, you know, like we don't really have a lot of the commodities because a lot of that is like mined or manufactured in other places, right? For the U.S., there's like what else is there? Like maybe companies, but like it's the same companies everywhere else. I think, in my opinion, humble opinion, he was looking around and he was like, dollar is about to die. We need to back it up with something. What do we have a good amount with that competes with the rest of the world? It's Bitcoin, actually, that we have in our reserves.
But also they just found out that we sold way more than we thought we had.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The like if you look at how much Bitcoin we thought we had left, it's less than that.
Oh man, I guess it just came out.
Yeah, but sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your point there. Go ahead.
So I won't go too far into like speculation on that, but there's a part of me that's like, oh, is this an effort to make Bitcoin back up the US dollar? Because you can think about it as doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best plan, but I think you got to get other nation states to buy in first. I think that would be well, there's a couple. There's some that are right on the cusp of like really going in, but I think once you get some of these bigger nation states to start building their reserve, then you make that huge move, because at that point they're locked in with us. You know what I mean?
That's fake news, by the way. That's not real.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, you got to start checking the real sources, man. If Watcher Guru doesn't have it, it's fake.
I swear Cynthia Loomis is the one who tweeted about it.
No.
That we don't have that much Bitcoin.
Yeah, she was disappointed. She was disappointed in like I guess finding out something, but anyways,
because that would have been huge news. Watcher Guru would have posted
it. I just think there's probably gonna be like a big windfall at some point. It's just like right now we're in that like booting up phase because like everyone's going to be starting to make a stable coin, and it's like I think the end result is as long as they're just buying bonds, like.
But that's the thing too, right? So if the stablecoin issuers all have to buy bonds, the government can issue more debt, right? So the government doesn't. Yeah. People think the government can just print money. They don't print money. What they do is they create these bonds and they sell these bonds into the market, and that market is that's how they get income. That's how they make money. That's how the government's able to fund everything, by selling bonds. And if we get to a point where people are buying, other things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and other assets that are actually better ways to accumulate wealth than say 6% yield on a bond or whatever the 4% yield on a bond. If we force the stablecoin issuers to hold bonds instead of cash, and they're going to want to do that anyway because they can make that 4%, then it's almost guaranteed.
I think this is Senator Cynthia Loomis. July 16th says, I'm alarmed by reports that the U.S. has sold off over 80% of its Bitcoin reserves, leaving just 29,000 coins. If true, this is a total strategic blunder and sets the United States back years in the Bitcoin race. Bitcoin Magazine says, July 16th, U.S. Marshals revealed the government now only holds 28,988 Bitcoin, worth $3.4 billion instead of the estimated 200,000 Bitcoin.
I don't think that's true though, because
I mean, like, don't tell me to stop looking at fake news sources when it came straight from a senator.
But that was like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I know
they're coming out today in the bill today, and they're gonna respond.
I know.
That's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant the thing came out today because it's coming out today, right? So I assumed that you meant that.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I
didn't know you're taking news from 2 weeks ago. That isn't true. It's not true.
So
I got it from Cynthia Loomis.
It's not true though. It's she said I'm getting from sources, and it's not true.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's where I got it from. It wasn't some scam site or something like that.
I got you.
But anyways,
today's stuff.
Stan has something for you. Cyclops says, can Cyclops share the recipe of success? He noticed in the Sats terminal that projects have used for success. What? Share the recipes of success. He noticed that in Sats terminal that projects have used for success. And does he foresee a crypto punk surge in his inventory? Thanks.
I mean, I wish I had a CryptoPunk.
I'm not sure what Stan. I don't know if Stan knows what Sats terminal is in this question, as he does see.
Well, I think are you talking about Stan? Are you talking about the Alkanes projects that they partnered with? If you could maybe clarify that, that would be great. But are you going to get a CryptoPunk in your NFT inventory?
I mean, I wish I had the money for that. I would totally love a CryptoPunk because I think they're at lows right now, and like once we go full bull, it's like those things will go crazy. Like last cycle, I remember when they were like 15,000, and I was like, man, I wish I had 15,000 in 2021. I was like, I wish I had 15,000 to buy one of those. Those are cool.
Well, let me ask you this: would you rather want a CryptoPunk, which is valued at 200K, or 1.5 Bitcoin valued at 200K? What would you rather have?
That's a tough one. So like both are history. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't think of like a CryptoPunk as ETH. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think of a CryptoPunk as like it's just like a part of
Legendary,
history.
yeah.
And then like, there's like
Yeah.
Bitcoin that's like a piece of history, and it's like I mean I of course like yeah, I would want the CryptoPunk so I could get even more Bitcoin to put put away. Does that make sense? It's like ultimately I want the Bitcoin, but like it's a CryptoPunk, and like you know like NFTs just got hammered so hard that
Yeah.
I think they became undervalued to a certain point, and so it's like I want that just so I could get more Bitcoin.
Well, you could take the CryptoPunk, take a loan out on it on one of those loan sites,
Yep.
right? And then buy Bitcoin with it, so you get your cake and you get to eat it too, technically. So
It's a tough one, you know, like yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I would want the Bitcoin, but like, yeah, like you can do a lot of plays with the CryptoPunk to make more Bitcoin. So
Yeah, you just have to make sure that you're out within that window. That's the thing right there. You gotta get out of that window. But yeah,
it's tough to get out because anytime I've been like very profitable, it's like when I bought, everyone made fun of me, and then when I sold, everybody made fun of me.
well, that's how you know you win, right?
Like BitTensor. So like I bought BitTensor when it was like $15. And it was like escrow. It was all through like escrow. And like everyone was like, "You're crazy." And I was like, "It's like $200. Who cares? Like if it goes to zero." Like and they talked me out of buying more because like I wanted to buy more. And then it went up to like $700. And like I sold, and everyone was like, they just call you like a traitor, and like you're like an idiot. It's gonna go to like 10,000. It's like I bought them for like 50.
Who called you an idiot for selling Tau?
Cardano guys, it had to be
$700.
guys.
I mean, like
I was like, yeah, I'm not a guy who bought it at like $100 waiting for it to go to 1,000. It's like I bought it at like $20, and it's down $700. Like I don't know what else. Like I'm not too greedy.
For sure. Sure.
Well, Cyclops, man, this has been absolutely awesome, dude. Would love to give you some time, some last words here. If you have anything left.
Pay attention for updates because we just have no life. We're working on other stuff, and it's really hot outside here. So I don't know where it is where you guys are, but it keeps getting hot. It's either hot or
stay in the house. Stay in the house.
Yeah. We're in the basement.
Awesome.
Talking about dog coins, you know, we're winning at life.
Hey, that's what we love to do. And I remember that one guy was like trying to clown us for talking about dog coins, but he hasn't been back. He hasn't been back. He hasn't been back. He must have got a 9 to 5 at Mickey D's or something. But anyhow, appreciate you joining us as you do every Wednesday. And excited for the future of Sats Terminal, man. Get those Amber points, guys. Make sure that you're using Sats Terminal to get your runes. Like I said, if you're going to get them in a decentralized way, it's the best place to do it. You're going to find the cheapest way, and they, find the cheapest resources for you guys to be able to get your runes and Alkanes in your wallet. So thank you so much, Cyclops, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Absolutely awesome as always. It's so cool to talk to those guys over at Sats Terminal. The real builders, real guys in the space every single day, and they're building a lot. They're not just building the aggregator decks. I can't wait for those updates to come out as well. But go check out satsterminal.com. You guys buy runes, buy Alkanes. Make sure you do it through satsterminal.com.
Absolutely. And do we have anything else to hit on? I think that was it, right?
That's it. That's everything I have. Yeah.
Awesome. What a great show, guys. Thank you guys for all supporting us by watching us. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. And we are very, very grateful for you guys. And then also our partners as well. We just hit on SAS Terminal, so I'll hit on them real quick again. SASterminal.com is the place to trade runes and alkanes. You're going to earn Amber points. If you do so, you earn Amber points on every transaction. The first time you connect your wallet, you get a boost of 1,000 points. So remember, the first time, I'm trying to give you guys alpha with that. But yeah, they're an XP point system that's going to be going towards an early or give back to early adopters. So head over to SASterminal.com to learn more today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum. You can do so with the Taproot Wizards right now. You can take a loan out against your Taproot Wizards on the Gandhi app, which is the largest borrowing and lending platform on Ethereum. You can do so on Base Chain and Abstract and Solana, possibly Modern Chain as well in the future. They're going to be adding those tech stacks. And then they're also going to be allow you to use Agent AI Hustle to help you vault your ordinals and your NFTs. By the way, you can do counterparty NFTs as well. Once they add the Bitcoin tech stack to Hustle. Speaking of Hustle, Hustle has been on fire, the Hustle token. And also what Hustle is an AI tool that guides you through the jungles of Solana. You can use him for just regular data information, ask him what are, some safe 2 to 5x plays in the Solana ecosystem. We'll bring back some options, or you can set up conditional trades. You can set up like limit buys and sells and then go to the gym and come back and the trade will be executed, right? So it's gonna be really exciting because they're gonna be adding the Bitcoin tech stack to this, by the way. So you're gonna be able to trade runes with Hustle as well and EVM. I mean, they're going to be crushing it. They're already crushing it over here. Also, migrate.fun is a part of the Hustle ecosystem. So if you have a project that you launched on Pump Fund and you want to migrate to bonk.fun, or you just want to migrate out and have your own LP so you can earn all the rewards with the LP, you can do so with migrate.fun. You got to reach out to their team. They'll get you into one of their cohorts to get started. There's already several teams. I think they got about 15 to 20 teams for the first cohort that's going to be in late April. But the business model of Flywheel is the fees earned from migrate.fun is going to go back to the Hustle token and ecosystem. So make sure that you guys are reaching out to the team if you want to look into this. Also, they have a TGE for their Bitcoin Rune, which is going to be the main token of their ecosystem called the Emblem Founder Vaults. And then if you go to OpenSea and you search Emblem Founder Vaults, you can buy an NFT, and the NFT will unlock at block 925,000, I believe, on the Bitcoin side, and you have a Bitcoin wallet in there with the runes. So it's a really cool TGE and pre-sale. So make sure you're taking advantage of that, or head over to emblem.vision, join their community, their Discord, and their Telegram if you have any questions there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to trade in the Bitcoin ecosystem, you could do so at Artura.finance. They're going to add Doggo to the Moon and other Bitcoin fungibles eventually. Right now, you can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, but every trade and transaction on their platform will go towards earning points in their XP system. The highest amount of points that you can earn is by adding liquidity to their vaults, though. That is something that they're focused on right now to make their platform more formidable. And another cool thing that they're going to be adding is TradFi style assets that are being digitized. You're going to be able to trade MicroStrategy, Coinbase, stuff like that here. So it's really cool. That's what's going to set them apart. They are live on Botanix, the Spider Chain, which is a Bitcoin layer 2. And then they will be launching soon on Hemi Bitcoin layer 2 as well. Make sure you head over to Artura.finance to learn more today. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They started building on Cardano and then moved over to Bitcoin. But on the Cardano side, you can participate in the Aquarium platform by adding liquidity and earning Babel fees. So if you add one of the tokens that are approved for gas on the Cardano, you can add it here, earn the fees, the trading fees part of that. And then also they have an automatic payment scheduler. So if you pay your team, if you're a builder in Cardano and you pay them ADA, or you just pay people in ADA reoccurring, do so at thefluidtokens.com and hit on the Cardano side. You can set up the scheduled payments. And then on the Bitcoin side, they are building, or they have been building, staking vaults on Bitcoin layer 1. The recent innovation is adding Alkane staking vaults on their platform. You can stake Alchemist to earn Mist and Dust. If you stake that, I think you earn more Dust, I believe. And then staking Dog earns Diesel. So they've done the cross fungible method here. Staking dog earns diesel, and staking diesel earns dog. So those are wide open there. You can get into those. If you're looking to get staking vault created for your community, head over to their Discord and get connected. Put a ticket in, and they'll get you started with the first step. Also, they have an airdrop tool on their platform to airdrop runes or alkanes. There's 2 options. You can upload a CSV file, which all the addresses will be on there pre-propagated, or you can do it manually one by one. It's very simple, cost effective, and fast. So if you're a builder, you can utilize this airdrop tool for your project there. Head over to fluidtokens.com to learn more. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet that is focused on the best UI and UX for all their users. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. They support the Bitcoin and Cardano ecosystems, and soon Sui will be supported as well. And they have plans for other ecosystems as well. But you can trade for runes directly in their application, as they have partnered with Sats Terminal to make that possible. And then on the Cardano side, they partnered with Dex Hunter to make it possible for you guys to swap for other Cardano tokens. Also, there is a YouTube alpha section on their application. You can find our channel there, along with some other alpha callers in the YouTube world dealing with crypto. So head over to Tokyo.io. And don't forget, every Tuesday, we have a new series with them at 7 p.m. Eastern called the BTC Zone. And it hits on builders that are not natively originally from the Bitcoin ecosystem, but their scaling solutions are being built to make Bitcoin DeFi and trading much easier. So make sure you can check that every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Head over to Tokyo.io. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their AI Wizard 0.3 version that will guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. You can actually do DeFi functionality with the version 0.3, but the 0.4 coming up, you're going to be able to do cross-chain stuff, which I'm super excited about, guys. You can ask questions about, the top wallets on BNB, Solana, etc., and actually make some trades using your, Merlin Chain Bitcoin. So it's going to be really exciting once that's out. But if you want to help secure the chain, you can do so on merlinchain.io and click on staking. There's 3 options. There's the Bitcoin staking. You get an average of 16% APR, and it's locked up until September 30th, but you can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. Really cool deal there. It will max out at 100 Bitcoin, so make sure that you're tracking that. And then also there's 2 other options there. With the Merlin Chain token, there's the flexible option, which is a day-to-day staking. You earn 15% APR. You can pull your rewards every single day and start compounding them. Also, when you do withdraw, you actually have to wait 7 days. It's a cooldown period. No big deal. But just know that if you do participate in the day-to-day flexible. And then there's the bonded option, which is a 6-month lockup. You earn 45% APR, and same deal. You can pull your rewards day-to-day and roll those in. So head over to merlinchain.io to learn all about this and join their communities as well. And then Ordinal Hive is the last one here. They are our partner that is an Ordinal aggregator marketplace. You're going to find the cheapest ordinals around at ordinalhive.io. They have really cool tools. You get your liquidity right away once you sell. The tools that they have for traders are really awesome. You can actually see what's live in the mempool. You can actually grab something that's mispriced. There's a really awesome dashboard where you earn points, and they're gonna have a TGE as well. So you know what that means. Points go towards early or give backs to early adopters. So make sure you're going to ordinalhive.io. Really cool platform with profiles, that you can customize and all that great stuff. So we thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man, as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind jumping over to onchainrevolution.io, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like help them get started and caught up to where we are today. Brand new article just dropped. Ethereum set the surge, guys. This is something you definitely want to be reading right now. Check them all out. We have one a week, every single week, guys. Definitely check them all out. Going all the way back to 2023. You can actually learn about what was going on, basically what we were talking about that week, and really kind of get you caught up all the way till today. So definitely want to check out these articles and check them out today. VPN, Nord, if you guys are interested in a VPN, use our link here because it's $3.39. There's free ones out there, but Nord is by far the best because you're able to put your place wherever you want in the world. I use Switzerland. Sometimes I use El Salvador, depending on my mood, but you can kind of use anywhere that you guys want in the world, any server, and that actually blocks these websites from getting your IP address. It gives them the IP of the server, and doing that actually gives you privacy. Privacy is definitely what we want in the US as Bitcoiners. We do not want people to know our home address, which your IP address could actually lead to them to your home. So you don't want that, guys. Definitely get a VPN and get Nord, and make sure you're not paying full price. Lock it in for 2 years as well, because if you lock it in for 2 years, you pay that price for 2 years. If you lock in 3 months, then in 3 months, when you come back with that same email, they're going to force you to pay the $11.59. Definitely use our link here and get that cheap price, guys. You head back to onchainrevolution.io, go to the store tab. Some of the best stuff in all of crypto merch. If you guys need merch to kind of showcase, lounge around at home, we have some of the best stuff, guys. Hats, t-shirts, jackets, school bags, and so much more. Check it all out here at onchainrevolution.io. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and 8 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
On-chain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin controlling. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sacks. I can take profit right now. On-chain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and arching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. On-chain revolution.